What's up, Jim? I was gonna just join one, but nobody's live. Who's not like, I don't know, super serious talking about schmorshman or something. How's the background? I guess oh, nice. The chat disappears right as it hits the bottom text. Good. I've been trying to perfect that. I wish there was like a template that you could use. But yeah. All my homies versus one theist. I love panels like that. AI Darth Dawkins. Really? Do they have him like just like a voiceover thing where they can talk and it sounds like him, or is it just like them saying ridiculous stuff in Darth Dawkins' voice? Yo, P-Mars, good shit with Meso earlier. Oh my god, I'm gonna, like, honestly, that's gonna be running through my mind all day. What's up, brother?
I wonder if someone recorded that. Well, dude, so I went live this morning for 15 minutes. I got banned for hate speech, and I appealed it, and the appeal was successful. And then I went live again when you came on for 25 minutes, and I got banned for hate speech, and I appealed it, and the appeal was successful. So, like, someone's freaking...
Oh, no. That sucks, dude. I hate that. Bro, like, you were literally dog walking that guy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the guy's a moron, so...
I have no idea who Metzo is, but I like name dropped him in like Discord, and
so many people like, why do people watch that? These guys are goofy. I don't get it.
I agree. His performance there was goofy. I have no idea if he's good or not outside of that, but like, yeah, his I call it the host confidence effect. You know, like, no matter who it is, if you're the host of the live, I feel like you just have this like, I can't be wrong arrogance about you. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't
know.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't, like, what if he admits Christianity is true? Is he gonna, like, lose all of his popularity, you know?
Yeah.
It's like he has to save face. Like, what if, let's say you're making money at being an atheist, and then evidence is presented to you that, like, Christianity is true. Well, like, your whole job is being an atheist. So why would you, you know, maybe you in your personal life, maybe you'll believe in Christianity, but well, that'd be kind of weird. But
you're just like coming online. You're like, your job is blasphemy now.
But it's just like, I guess it's more like it's like a, I don't know. Is it a sunk cost fallacy? No, maybe not.
No, yeah, I think that's what it's called.
You're so invested in atheism, it's your life.
Mitch?
You're not going to see any evidence that goes against it.
But also, if he became a Christian, then he would be using his reasoning to do that, and that means that atheism is true and Christianity is true under his logic.
I don't know. I don't know how he used his reasoning to get to atheism. He never got to like what reason that was.
Yeah.
I think he said, "Oh, I'm just not convinced," but that's not a reason. Not being convinced isn't considered reason, is it?
Yeah.
P-Mars, we were just having a... How did you get banned right after finishing saying they tried to ban me this morning?
That was hate speech. Because I was hating on the people that are reporting me for hate speech.
Do reports do anything?
I'm getting banned for hate. I got banned in 15 minutes on my first live, and then 25 minutes into the second live for hate speech both times. And I appealed both, and both appeals are successful. So obviously, the people that hate me and report me for hate.
You're pretty infamous.
I am. I look. I brought that on myself, so I can't be mad. I guess. Like I do provoke the hate. So.
You know, I love some self-awareness. That's really appreciated.
It's still like, I don't report other people's streams. I think that's kind of lame to report someone's stream.
No, you just Usually, if I don't like what somebody is saying, I just leave or keep scrolling. I don't stop them from saying it.
Exactly.
They just reported Mars for hate speech on Christ.
How did the rest of your life go yesterday, Kayj?
I don't even know what the fuck happened.
It seems like at some point you were talking almost zero, and the people on your panel were, yeah.
Well, because the first guy wasn't even talking about race; he was talking about culture, and I really
The Scottish guy.
Pardon? Yeah. I really tried to steer the conversation.
Good morning, Darth.
You might have to repeat what you said.
Morning, Darth.
Good morning.
How's your day going? How's your New Year?
My day always starts off well when I have a nice bagel and coffee.
Bagel. But did you get unbanned, Darth, today?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. You know what? TikTok is just absolutely insane with its censorship algorithm.
Yeah, you raised your voice. That's what happened last time. I remember.
That's all I did. I raised my voice. I was angry at the guy for being a complete a-hole, and they call that bullying. I mean, it's just look. It's the Chi-Coms are behind this, so you know.
Yeah, in China, they have a lot of what is it, social credit score and censorship there. It's like crazy.
If you jaywalk in China, it will pick up your face on cameras, and everybody's face is in data banks.
Okay? Well, the real question though is, what kind of bagel are you having?
I more commonly have everything bagel with cream cheese.
The Buddhist bagel, huh?
Nope.
You heard that joke? A Buddhist goes to New York and wants a bagel, and he says, "Make me one with everything."
Yeah, that's an old Dalai Lama joke.
Yeah. Have you heard any young Dalai Lama jokes?
No.
Me either. He was only popular as an old guy.
Who sucked when they were young was George Carlin. Awful. But he's pretty good when he got older.
He was funny, but his comedy routine against God is just totally irrational and a complete misrepresentation. I mean, it's a deliberate misrepresentation of the God of Christianity in order to get laughs.
Yeah.
He had some joke about a Cheerio when he was younger. It was like the worst joke. I can't remember it. It was so bad.
Was you talking about Carlin?
Unfortunately, he realizes now he wasted his whole life and he threw away his eternity.
Yeah. He was wrong about God, but he did have some insightful comments about like society, I guess.
Yeah, well, that's called common grace.
Yeah.
God bestows common grace upon the unbeliever so that not all of his thinking is entirely convoluted.
I think comedians serve a really good use in society for making us question why we do things and point out how silly we can be and stuff.
Well, just always keep in mind that every unbeliever that you are dialoguing and debating with, they're just stalling and dodging for time until they know that judgment is coming.
So have you seen this Mezzo guy stream, Darth?
Yeah, bro. Tell Darth about how you stomped that guy.
You've seen Mezzo, Darth? He had 600 viewers.
I think I have, but why don't you refresh my memory?
I don't know how to describe him. He's just one of those
hey, host, get rid of Tupac. He's a stalker and a troll. Please get rid of him, or I'm gonna leave. I don't put up with people who are blatant trolls. Please remove Tupac. He's only coming on here to troll and to stalk.
Sorry.
Thank you.
I didn't know that.
Thank you. No, he's a vile person from Discord.
So, anyways, he's one of those ones. He wants to like debate, do a Bible study, and talk about like.
The point is he is a pathological liar in debates.
Oh no, I was talking about Mezzo.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
So Mezzo's, yeah, he's one of those like deconstruction. Oh, look, the Bible said, do this to the Amalekites. How awful, that type of stuff. And so I went up there to do the precept, and I did the precept, and I'm like, so it makes sense. I can trust my thinking and my senses if God designs them, and He designs the world, and He designs them to be accurately reflecting the world. And he goes, oh, so if God designs my reason, I can trust my reason, and then I reason to atheism, therefore atheism is true. This is what he said to me. Can you believe that? If God designs my reason, and God makes my reasoning accurate, and I reason to atheism, therefore atheism is true. This is what he said to me.
Well, you know what? I feel bad for them not only because they're not rational, but that they're just delaying the inevitable. And they know that they're under the wrath of God. They just don't want to contemplate it. So they just there is no God. There is no God. There is no God. There's no evidence for God. There's no evidence for God.
How can you present a line of reasoning that starts with God and ends with atheism? What is wrong with these people?
Well, I mean, if you start with a man God, it can get a bit confusing.
Yeah, I couldn't.
Yeah, but that Mezzo guy just wasn't tracking anything that you were saying. Like he was actually being uncharitable.
Most atheists don't. Most of the atheists and unbelievers that we tangle with are clueless when it comes to metaphysics, and in fact, they're so dismissive of metaphysics that they don't even realize that that's a metaphysical position. See, most of the atheists out there are just well practiced in atheist slogans and cliches. They're not in the least bit philosophically or metaphysically sophisticated. That's why they repeat the same slogans over and over again, like, there's no evidence for God. Rod, Ollie wants a cracker. No evidence for God. Most atheists, when they assert there's no evidence for God, and I ask them to give an account for that, they go, oh, you're shifting the burden of proof. You're shifting the burden of proof.
I mean, obviously, it's not like a substantive point, right? It's just rhetoric in the same way to say that something else is highly improbable. I don't see a problem with somebody saying, like, look, there is evidence for both hypotheses. It's fine.
No, that's simply false.
What's false?
To say that the world can coherently indicate the negation.
Did I say
Wait,
that?
Kaysen, you're gonna have to come.
The God world.
Kaysen, come back up on the other side, okay?
The God world is not a hypothesis. The very fact that you categorize or classify it as a hypothesis is showing your lack of understanding of metaphysics.
Sure, I wasn't using hypothesis in any physical.
It's not a hypothesis. It's a comprehensive worldview.
Yeah, I understand.
Let me explain something to you.
Right,
and what you're saying is, if you say the evidence is equally supportive,
I really don't want to have this conversation with you. It's like 11 in the morning, right?
Yeah.
The way
I'm not going to waste my time with this stupidity. What you just said is colossally.
All right, then fuck off then if you're not even going to let me finish a sentence. Like, look, the way I'm using the word hypothesis is just some theory that could be true. And by theory, I mean some proposition. And by proposition, the thing I'm referring to is God exists, right? There wasn't even any substance there to debate. All I said was that for the atheist to say there is no evidence for God is just some rhetorical device, right? It's not actually them saying there is zero evidence for the fucking proposition, right? So it's actually agreeing with you, but you're so contrarian and so in your own feelings half the time. You couldn't understand that for 5 seconds.
No, but you made a mistake by saying it's a hypothesis, and you're insecure, so you kicked him.
Look, by hypothesis, do you think I'm referring to some worldview that's true when I'm referring to God?
Oh no!
Who kicked him?
I didn't.
Bro took the backwards bait.
Like, I'm not even gonna like. I really wanted to have a conversation with him, but
yeah, I did too.
when I can't finish a sentence on something so trivial as me agreeing with you, there's nothing to talk about. Go do that on your own fucking space. Go do it on Discord or Xbox Live again. I don't care.
I couldn't even engage.
Whatever.
Are you guys believers now or something? Did you guys believe in
He
God?
just does that to blow up the conversation when he realizes he can't engage.
No, I'm
Hey, right
no
here.
President. It's just we're
What's up,
tolerable
my favorite God believer?
Hi.
of most theists.
I missed you.
Miss you too.
Aw.
Hey,
You sleep? Had a good night's sleep?
Jeremy Hammock, do you believe in God?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Do you think that you have good reasons?
Personally, yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, let's. Do you care about having a conversation to explore those reasons?
No, I don't.
He asked
No,
if
it's
you
fine.
wouldn't mind to talk about having those reasons,
No,
not
not,
if you.
Yeah,
not
so-
at all. That's why I'm on here.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. Give some reasons.
Well, personal reasons for me is the way, of course, the way I was raised, and I turned into actually when I was in high school, I turned into being a Satanist for a while, and I unfortunately dove into the Satanic Bible and all their beliefs and stuff out of anger because my mother passed away when I was 16. I gave up on God over it.
Well, it doesn't sound like you gave up on God. If you were
Well,
a
at that
Satanist,
time-
don't you? Yeah, don't you believe
That
in God
time-
if you're a Satanist?
Well, yeah. I mean, he's they're competitors pretty much. But I gave up on being a follower of God. And I try to follow the opposition, I guess you could say.
Mm.
And then when I got it probably when I probably got close to my late 30s, I had some crazy experiences, and I turned back. Like the prodigal son story in the Bible.
Do you think that people can have personal experiences and come to believe in the wrong God?
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, you can believe in whatever obviously, I did. You know what I mean?
No. Yeah. So how do you know? How do you know that you're still not?
Well, I look at it in a common sense form as if you actually live by what the Bible teaches you, your life is going to be not perfect, but you won't be harming people and doing wrong.
Yeah, you can say the same thing about a Dr. Seuss book.
If you live by, the standards of Satanism, you're definitely, when you get angry at people, you're allowed to harm them. So, by putting curses on them. So.
Wait, are you talking about like the Satanism that was popularized by like Jonathan LaVey?
It's actually Anton LaVey was his name.
Yeah, that's what I don't know why I said Jonathan.
Yeah,
Anton LaVey.
It's okay, it's fine. I read his autobiography.
That's a question. I'm talking about that kind of Satanism.
That's the type of satanic worship I was into.
Yeah, but I don't think like LaVey and Satanists even believe in the devil. I think it's just like a form of like humanism. Am I wrong?
Yeah, it's more of a
Anybody know?
Well, here's a contradiction of it. They believe in like self-worship, like your birthday is the most important day of the year.
I mean, do you not?
So, but then they have rituals talking about Satan and demons. So it's kind of contradiction the way it's written, and that kind of turned me off too as I got older. I was like, there's too many contradictions in it. It's like 168 pages long, and most of it. The first of it mocks the Bible, and then they say, "Well, there's no Satan, there's no God with horns."
Jeremy, stop! You're like saying a bunch of stories. Can you give reasons that God is true?
Give reason? I said personally, I can because of my experiences. Yeah.
Yeah, but can you use personal experience to come to know that the wrong God is true?
What would you consider the wrong God? Someone who would come down to earth and save you from eternal death? I don't see that would be a wrong God to worship.
What he's trying to ask you is, if you said one of your primary reasons was just your childhood environment. Who's to say that you could have the same commitment, that a God with a mind and he's a being that's all powerful and omniscient and omnipresent and all good. Why? Who's to say that God isn't one of the three or one of the two other Abrahamic gods? Or who's to say your idea of what a god is mute or is not? Who's to say that your idea of what God is one of these three? And what reasons do you have for believing it's one of them over the others?
Well, I mean, you can turn the tables too. Who's to say the God that I believe in is not true? You know what I mean? There's no
you
proof
can't.
of that.
Wait. Do you believe that? Wait, do you believe that the God of like the Muslim God is true?
No, he didn't. No, it's not the same God that I believe in. No.
Do you think that the Muslim God is not real?
I couldn't say that. No, I've never had no personal experience with him.
Why can't you say that? Do you believe in Christianity?
Yeah, but see, what God,
if you believe in Christianity, does that entail that the Muslim God is false?
No, I can't. I'm not going to say anything that I don't definitely know.
Well, we'll just put it. I really don't want to seem like we're interrogating you.
No.
To put it really simply, just the commitments of Christianity, at least philosophically, and there are obviously many more theologically with the different stories they tell, but the core commitments that we're only really concerned about are there is a God that is omnipotent, so all-powerful, he's all good, and he's all-knowing, right? Muslims and Christians make those same commitments. Where they differ primarily is Christians go on to say, by and large, that God is triune. And that's sort of where Muslims don't make that commitment. So when I ask, or anybody asks, what are your reasons?
Actually, when you say difference, well, the big difference is there's not another religion besides Christianity that Jesus actually came down and died for your sins. The other gods never came and died for you.
Yeah,
So there's a big difference between the Bible and the Quran or any other religion.
Yeah, that'd be a theodicy difference. I agree. I'm just really talking about their core commitments, and as we can at least see, Muslims don't make the commitment that God is triune, and Christians do. So I'm fine
because most Christians, like myself, I'll take that back. I won't speak on most Christians. Me as a Christian in my walk in Christ is my personal relationship with God, which is a lot different. It's always different than the next person beside you, because God has a different relationship with everybody, just like the father, your dad, has a different relationship with every kid in the house. So that's where most people have that strong commitment to believe in the God of the Bible, because of their personal relationship they have. Without that personal relationship, it's just a void text. You know what I mean?
Sure, I absolutely agree. The problem that I have is I can't use the same methods that I can on my earthly father that I would be able to use on my heavenly father, right? I
understand.
I can perform some empirical analysis to see whether my stepdad is my bio dad or whether my bio dad is my stepdad. Sure. I can't do those same analyses on comparing if the Muslim God is my dad or if the Christian God is my dad. I can't do the same things there.
It's going to be a self journey. Is what I'm looking at basically. I can tell you. You know what I mean? If you want to go on that journey to try to find what you think is true God, then that's a personal journey you'll have to take for yourself. I mean, I can't convince you of anything, and I'm not trying to.
No, I understand.
You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to disrespect, because I don't do that with people.
No, I get it. I just, especially, presumably by self journey, it entails some degree of research and soul searching. And among those soul searching and autodidacticism of learning about the religion, there's going to be obviously other things you should learn about, the different stories. But the primary one that I'm concerned with is their main contention between the three biggest religions. The two of them that I bring up most often are Islam and Christianity, and their biggest difference is about the nature of God. It's a usia. And during, independent study, I don't see any reason to accept God's triunity versus accepting that it is a Unitarian God.
Well, I understand where you're coming from on that, but what I've learned about Jesus and what he's done for me, to me, if a God's willing to do that for me, I don't know, it's just something that's personal. You know what I'm saying? Because there's nobody in this world that's going to fucking lay down their life for you. There really isn't, dude.
Do you have a dog?
And I'm going to tell And I'm going to tell you, you know, when I became a follower of Christ, every time I would follow Christ, my life was not easier. It was actually harder. It's actually harder today. I'm a cancer survivor. I've been through a lot of bad things, and I'm not saying it got me through it, but it helped me understand that this isn't where life stops at. You know, if I died tomorrow, then it's just another journey to another life outside of here. This eternity, you know, it's just 100 years on this earth and you're done. You know what I mean? That's the way. That's just my personal belief how I look at it. You know,
That's
and I know it may
fascinating.
not be. I may not be, you know, the most
Wait,
intellectual way of
Jeremy,
looking
one
at it.
second.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Kayj.
No, I was just saying, I don't wouldn't if you think you know when you buy like you know Oreos at Costco and you're like on your last you have the 3 rows right of the Oreos. Like just imagine that the Oreos are only 2 rows instead of 3. It's more simple. When you're done eating the first row of Oreos, because let's be honest, we've all ate the whole fucking row by ourselves at one point. Are you not like apathetic because you have another row of Oreos to eat?
Well, I don't really see your comparison. If
Well,
you're
sure.
talking about it in
I'm gonna
no.
I'll just make it direct then.
Yeah.
If I
Go
knew
ahead.
that I had another life with experiences and love and happiness and hardship and learning, then I don't really give a shit about what happens in this life because I can just do it again. I got to restart. It's like having multiple lives in Minecraft.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I kind of wish it. You know, it'd be kind of cool if it kind of worked that way, huh? But it unfortunately it doesn't. When you die, you're no longer on this earth anymore. But
Yeah, but how do you know that you go to heaven? Like,
it's like I said, it's a personal relationship. It's the conversations I've had with God. You know what
no,
I'm
I'm saying like, I don't think.
It's a faith thing, and you're gonna have a personal relationship.
Yeah, can you
because, I mean,
wait? Can you use
you
faith?
can read
Can you-
anything
look,
and
Jeremy,
say, hey, I believe in Tom
Jeremy,
Sawyer's complete story. You know what I'm saying? But I wasn't there. Yeah,
Jeremy,
go ahead.
Can you believe something on faith and it be incorrect?
I don't
No,
have the
I
Bible,
don't.
brother. I don't think it's
You don't
possible.
think so? So can
I
I
don't
take
think it
it? Can I take it on faith that people under 3 foot tall are worth less, and so I just punch children?
Well, no, because that's been proven wrong.
By who? Not me.
Well, I mean, you look at statistics, and they can prove that wrong. They can't prove God wrong. No one can.
Yeah, you can't. But you're trying to prove God, and like, you think that you're doing that?
I'm not trying to prove God. I don't need to.
You don't need to. So you think that
No.
you
I mean, personally, I don't need to. You know,
what?
I'm not struggling with that. I don't have a problem with knowing if God is real. I don't have you know what I'm saying? A lot of other people do, and that's understandable, you know, and that's your own fight and your own personal experience, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm not here trying to convince you otherwise.
No,
I'm
it's
trying
okay,
to,
man.
you know.
Yeah. Have a good day.
And you too.
What's up, Mason? Are you the real Mason?
Yeah, man.
Damn, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah, man. It is. I'm a born again Mason.
You lost me. I don't understand what that means.
Well, if you've read the oldest book in the world, you would know what it means.
Right. So when I tell you I don't know what it means, and you say, "Well, if you had read this text, you'd know what it means," does that like help progress the conversation, or is it just
So,
because?
where does electricity come from?
Does this relate to the question I've asked?
Well, it relates to the subject of what you guys are on here debating.
What's that?
Well, you guys are from a perspective where you don't believe in God.
Yeah, and?
Okay. But when you turn the lights on, they always seem to turn on. But we don't know where the electricity comes from.
Well, electrical energy is just a form of energy.
No, we don't actually know. Look it up. You need to do your research. We don't know where electricity comes from. We don't know how it's formed.
I didn't say I know where electricity comes from. I said electrical energy is just a form of energy. And the way that I know...
Where does that energy come from?
Yeah, I don't know. It could just be a brute fact, right?
Well, I mean, it's something to think about. I'm not trying to argue. I'm just giving you something to think about.
I mean, look, now that we've established
Google it
that...
up. Google it up. It'll say that it talks about the conductivity of electricity. it talks about positive and negatively charged ions reacting to each other. That's the conductivity and reactivity. That's the
I get
that's the
that, right?
effect of electricity, but we don't know its origin. We don't know where it comes from. It's
Look,
not on the
I don't know where this
table.
all came from. It seems like it's some type of script. I just want to know what being a born again Mason is. That's all I've asked you. It's not like hard to answer.
Well, a lot of the doctrine that you're debating here comes from Freemason.
Echo.
It comes from
What are you getting these like assumptions from? I don't think
they're
I've
not
brought
assumptions. They're not assumptions.
I don't
It's
think
daily
I've brought
news.
up any theology once. Actually, I think I explicitly said to the last lovely lad that was just here, I don't know much about theodicies and the particular theology difference between Islam and Christianity. I'm just talking about their core philosophical commitments. So I think I've done a lot of work to not talk about theodicies.
Yeah. Have you read the Bible?
Which parts?
I'm just saying as like an overall. Have you read the overall Bible?
No, I haven't read 67 books worth of shit. No.
And are you educated?
As in, do I have some formal education? Am I an autodidact? Like, what are you asking?
Sure.
Yeah, I have formal education, yeah.
And you've never read the oldest book in the world?
No, I don't think for a philosophy...
You're stumbling here, brother. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to turn this on you, but if you've never read the oldest book in the world...
goes on,
right? Well, no, for a philosophy degree, especially in undergrad, that's not in philosophy.
I don't think that's benefiting you in this argument right now.
When I don't take philosophy of religion, I don't have to read any sort of religious texts. I don't even think
why would you ever read the oldest book in the world?
I don't think they read the religious texts in philosophy of religion either. So, like, what are you asking me? And how is this relevant to my question?
He's making some empirical claims.
I'm right here, right
don't
now.
think is true
All my
about-
homies verse 1 thesis. I love this panel.
Well, hold
I'm
on.
right here. I'm right now. Just stepping up to the plate.
What,
You guys are
Did you have like a
Well,
real
by
shitty
saying
morning?
ridiculous
2 for 3.
Look,
Third strike,
wait,
you're out.
You do realize the
I'm
Bible is not the
I'm not
oldest
actually,
book in the world, right?
Yeah,
Like, that's
that
a
empirical
completely
claim is something
moronic
I
thing to
wouldn't
say.
grant.
I'm just up here as a born again Christian, taking on
Mason,
5 or
Mason,
6
did you hear
homies.
what-
bro.
did
Yeah,
you hear
you're
what
up
was just said
here
to you?
saying stupid shit. That's what you're doing. The Bible is not the oldest book in the world.
Yes,
Like,
it is.
This is embarrassing. No, it isn't.
Yes, it is.
It takes 2 seconds.
it's
Do a
not.
Google search. Like,
No,
how
I
dumb
don't
are
have
you?
to.
The Odyssey
You don't
and
have to.
Iliad.
Holy shit.
These are the Odyssey and Iliad are BCE books. The Bible is a CE book. What are you talking about?
Okay, cease talk. What's the oldest? What is your thoughts on what the oldest
The
scriptures are?
Diamond Sutra apparently is the oldest book in the world.
No, the Samaritan tablets are, but they're tablets and they're a financial record. And
I think
and
this is all besides the point, because what's the point of, let's just suppose it were true the Bible was like the oldest book in the world, so what?
Don't you think it would be responsible to read it yourself rather than listen to all the
No, why would I think I have
There's
that?
no Freemason.
No, why would I have to
Well,
have
yes,
that
there is.
responsibility?
You guys don't. You guys are.
I have read it myself.
Minions of
when you
it.
say,
I've read
when
it.
you say,
The
think-
Freemasons is just a gentleman's club. Just shut up.
No, it's
ahead.
not. It's the Catholic Church.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
cool.
No,
designed
it's not.
I have
from
read
No,
it
it's not. You're an
myself.
idiot.
all of the controlling powers.
It's not.
Wake
You're
up.
just dumb. You're just
But all of
dumb.
this- all of this is irrelevant because I don't understand.
I'm dumb,
when
though.
ask-
You guys have
do
struck
I?
out 3
Oh my.
times.
Okay, let's just
Going for
try
4.
and let's
We're
just
gonna
try
have
and
a communication.
let's just hold on. Let's just try and stay linear. Okay, so you want to say that we have some responsibility to read the Bible if it were true the Bible was the oldest book. Now, why would I think that?
Do you know how to unmute, real guy?
He's just used to bloviating.
I think so. He's
I
probably
don't,
still
maybe he
talking.
doesn't know he was muted. You can unmute yourself.
Yeah, like whenever he talks, he doesn't listen for people to like ask questions anyway. So he's probably just still monologuing. Yo, the real Mason. I'm gonna invite you to unmute your microphone.
You're asking me why you should read the oldest book in the world?
I'm asking why, given it's the
Like the
oldest book in the
stupidest
world.
question somebody could ever
would
ask, and I
have-
didn't think they were stupid questions.
Okay, wait. Let's not commentate about the nature of the question being stupid. No one cares. What I want to know is from you said that I have
Then
a
why did you bring it up and
responsibility.
say it?
Well, hold on.
You said from the Bible being the oldest book in the oldest book in history, I have a responsibility to read it. Why would I think that?
You wouldn't think that because you've been programmed not to think that and think in opposition.
Okay,
to
you're
you
kind of
think
when I
now.
say wait, hold on. When I say why would I think that, I'm asking if you have an argument that I have this responsibility to read it. If you don't have an argument in light of that, then no one cares about your stupid beliefs that for any book that's the oldest book in history, I have a responsibility.
Does it not strike people to have common sense when they find out it's the oldest book in the world to read it? I mean,
when you say
we're lacking common sense.
Okay,
And
you're
we all
just stating
are
the first premise
crying and
there.
sucking on our thumb while everything in the world is falling
You're
apart.
not providing an argument. All you're doing is showing that you lack critical thinking.
No, because I buried you guys forward.
You didn't bury anybody. All you're doing is making claims. You're making claims about history that are false, right? And you can't even provide an argument or defense for the things you're saying.
Have a good day with your secular crap.
Yeah, okay.
Mason, I have questions.
Wait, don't run away yet.
Don't run away.
Why should I wait? There's nothing. I've beaten you guys.
You've been no
I got my satisfaction today.
I'm the host.
I got my
I have
satisfaction.
2 questions to ask you.
You
okay?
made erroneous claims. Like, what are you talking about? You beat anybody.
I love these guys that just come up here, make
The
false
truth
claims,
seed that
claim
I
victory,
hope
and
that
then
all of you guys, the truth seed inside all of us.
Yeah, all claims you can defend. All
Mason.
claims you can defend.
Two things that you said that I want to point out, okay? You said first that the Bible was the oldest book, and then you said the Samaritan tablets were the oldest book, okay?
No, I didn't say Samaritan tablets. I said they were not a book. It's not a book, so don't bring that crap to the table.
The Bible isn't a book
and
either.
then you
The
said-
Bible is a
and then you
collection
said-
of writings.
Then you said, I don't think there are stupid questions, and then you said that's a stupid question. So it's like, just twice now.
But I'm just interested because he said it's common sense, but obviously I don't think first it's not the inference for any book that is the oldest book. Then I have a responsibility to read
guys,
it. It's
you know
just
what?
someone that
You believe what
that's
you
just
want.
something no one would think.
You don't
is
want to
common
read the
sense.
oldest book in the world? Then don't.
We'll believe reality.
I've read it. I've read it multiple times, my guy. I probably know it better than you.
I'm trying to get.
Like,
I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to understand from your light, by your lights, why think if a book is the oldest book, I then have this responsibility to read it. That's
You
what I'm
don't.
failing to understand.
You don't.
So then why did you make that claim?
Because it's a common sense thing.
So wait, so then you
It
are,
would be
okay,
common
so,
sense
wait,
to read
so,
the oldest
wait,
book
so
in
you,
the world.
so you
No?
are still.
Am I wrong?
Wait.
I know
you're
I'm not.
Have you seen the oldest
Here,
movie?
I'm gonna mute you because you can't stop talking. It seems you're still a proponent of the belief. Yeah, so you still believe it. Okay, why think that's true? Why think if some book is the oldest, then I have a responsibility to read it? I don't understand.
He's just going to keep saying common sense because he doesn't actually have it. He's just
But
going
it's
to keep doing
been
the same
we
thing over
have
and over again.
we have empirical evidence.
Of what?
No, look, wait.
Of
the
the
thing
scripture.
is,
What?
no, he's doing this
Don't.
thing again where
Are you
he's
guys
just-
really stuck on your academic?
No,
programming
don't
that
give
heavily?
him bait to pivot.
running
That's the
God.
thing. Don't give him
Anytime
this
we-
bait
we-
to pivot.
No, you guys can't because I'm already 4-0 here. We're
Okay,
No,
Okay,
you're not.
okay.
Again, your
You're
ego
zero
showing that
bubble
nobody
gum.
else
Everything.
believes
You've
other
made
than you and your
zero correct
delusion
claims.
is not impressing anybody. All you're doing is running.
The
We
truth
asked you-
seed is
again, you have
manifesting
no
in you
truth.
guys now.
You have no truth. You are weakling that
Yeah,
can't
yeah,
cover
yeah.
reality. That's why
No, bro, I'm
you
not
believe
some
fairy tales.
lukewarm Christian
Wait,
like you
wait,
that
wait! Don't.
No,
don't-
we know,
preaches
you're
like
not
you
gonna
A
know
do
what
that.
it's
lukewarm
talking
Christian
about,
like
though
me,
you
You're
don't
not
know
I'm atheist my whole life. What the
nothing,
fuck are you talking
bro.
about? A
Tell me
lukewarm
what you know
Christian?
about the Bible. What's your favorite verse there, Caesar, to know?
No,
Uh,
that's
First
not
Thessalonians
derail.
5:17.
Job.
In conjunction with Matthew 6:6.
Ezekiel
Mumble,
23:20.
Proverbs 3:6. Thou shalt acknowledge him before all others, and he shall make straight thy
care,
path. That's a
don't
care,
Christian,
don't
bro.
Nobody cares.
Don't
But
care.
for the record, mine is
Wait,
Job.
why?
24.
Why ask us our favorite verse if you're just gonna read your favorite verse? Like, do you see that was just a pivot?
We're allowing him to pivot. Let normative try to get to the to the point that they're trying to make with why it's common sense.
Yes, so we have this proposition that we're going to say is some fact that the Bible is the oldest book. You want to say from the fact the Bible is the oldest book, that entails some responsibility for the appraiser to read it. And I just want to know, why would I think something like that? And when I say, why would I think something like that? What I'm asking is not I don't know what you interpreted earlier, like I have an obligation to believe it. What I'm saying is, what are the reasons or argument that support the view that you currently adopt? If you don't have one, that's fine.
there's an overwhelming amount of evidence, empirical evidence, that back up the scriptures. So if it is the oldest book in the world, it's probably worth a read.
Have you seen the oldest movie in the world?
Wait, what do you mean it's probably worth the read? Saying that it's worthy of reading and saying that I have this responsibility to read it are two different statements. Would we agree?
We should take responsibility as men and women and read it.
Okay, so we should read it. So you are repeating this like...
Oh, you have the option.
Normative.
But there's a saying.
Okay, wait. No one's
better
talking
one day
about
above
whether...
ground than 1,000 years.
Okay, he doesn't know what wait means. Okay, we understand we have the option to read it. No, that's not a contention in the conversation. What we're trying to understand is this normative baggage you're adding to reading the Bible that one should, given the fact it's the oldest book. We have a responsibility or obligation to read it. And I'm trying to understand why you have such a silly belief such as that, and whether you're even warranted in saying something like that. All right? Do you maybe have an argument or reasons in support of that claim?
You know I have the support.
Okay, so what is it?
The empirical evidence of the scriptures.
Oh my god. How are you not still understanding this? Like, this is
okay,
actually
so
embarrassing.
And I mean...
Well, hold on. Let's just work with this, because I know it's just going to... Yeah, so there's empirical facts about
You don't know where this is going to go, but we're going to go.
Sure, whatever. Yeah. Okay, so what empirical facts about the scriptures indicate this responsibility to read it? Take a deep breath and think. Yeah.
No, it's not about that. It's about having the patience to answer without being frustrated. It's just sensible. Now, you don't have to read the Bible. It would be something that you would choose in your own way. And unfortunately, we typically have to hit the brick wall before we get there.
We're not talking about whether it's necessary I read.
Bro, you'd make a really good lawyer, but I don't know if you'd make a good lawyer.
I don't know why you do this thing where you just...
That's the third
I'm clearly speaking. Look, what is not being said is that it's necessary I read the Bible.
You are right about that.
What is being said is that I have a responsibility or obligation to read the Bible. Now, that claim is still what we're trying to understand. So when you hedge what you say and say,
but you're diverting,
I don't think it's necessary, that's just not... That was never a matter of contention whether it's necessary. Now that we are clear,
why are you so caught up on such simple things, though?
So now that we're clear, we share the belief it's not necessary. What I want is an answer as to why I would think there's a responsibility to read it.
You can continue to suffer.
Thanks. I can continue to suffer, but what I'm asking is if you have an argument supporting I have a responsibility.
This is actually fascinating.
It's a good conversation, which is why I'm staying on the live, because normally once I beat and bury, I walk on.
Stop running. Answer the question. We don't need to hear your self-delusion. Answer the
question. No. Coming from the Christian.
I'm not a Christian.
He's not a Christian.
I'm not a Christian.
So then,
I've never been a Christian, you dumb fuck.
So then why are you acting like it?
What is that?
Wait,
I'm
what?
acting like a Christian? What
you come across like you read the Bible and talking about it, but you've never read the Bible. You don't.
I've read the Bible. That's why I'm an atheist. Atheists can read the Bible. Atheists read the Bible more than Christians, actually. Are you like on drugs? Like, what is happening here? Answer the question that Normative asked you.
Okay. Anyway,
stop running. Answer the question.
Okay, so let me hear this correctly. So you want to know why we all have a responsibility to read the Bible?
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to tell you, but you're not going to be okay with this. It's for God's glory.
Dang, I didn't know that.
Oh, okay.
No,
so
you didn't
to
know
be
that.
clear. Wait.
Okay.
Let's
elaborate.
Wait. No,
Even though
stop.
that's the answer,
Wait.
Let's elaborate.
Okay. When I say wait, that indicates you have to stop speaking, right? You just gave an answer, and I want to clarify something. Okay. So when you say we ought read the Bible in light of glorifying God, is what I'm understanding that to say that there exists some God that reading the Bible glorifies him. And if that's what you're saying, where there's logical priority in God existing to glorify him, then what I'm interested in getting is an argument there exists a God. And then we can also do the more interesting after, once you never substantiate there's a God. In fact, once you fail, I might as well grant it and ask you then why ought I glorify God. So first, let's get the argument, since it's logically prior to glorifying a God, that a God exists. So what's the argument there exists a God?
The same argument that the lights turn on when you flick the switch.
That I touched it with my finger?
But the lights always turn on.
Wait, I'm not...
No, they don't.
Yes. Well, I mean, if the power's out... Then
wait,
yeah, you
don't...
dumb
How do you
fuck.
function?
Wait, don't do that.
I answered that question for you.
We can grant him this stuff.
Idiot.
Okay, look,
Morons.
you don't even need to dispute
Like
this like stupid stuff he says. Well, I'm pretty sure most people here could destroy you on veganism too.
I think he's talking about me and Kayj yesterday.
So God is
the dumbest people on the face of the planet are vegan.
Okay,
well,
great.
you have a pro-choice accent, so
literally the dumbest people.
The dumbest people on the planet are vegans.
Okay.
Yes, your brains are lacking saturated fats.
Okay.
So like God exists because I can turn on
Is this guy
a light switch?
Wait.
Is that your argument? God exists because I can turn on a light switch?
And also, what is this guy?
But we don't know
where
the energy, we don't know where electricity comes from. But the lights.
What is this? Like, no, look. You can't be real. There's no way this is real.
Look. I don't know. When you said the same. Wait. When you said the same argument for God is the one that the lights turn on, what do you mean by that?
The atheists have a hard time with this one, eh? The electricity. We don't know where electricity comes from. Though when you turn the lights on or you put something in the microwave or you cook something on the stove, guess what? It works.
I'm not understanding what's the argument a God
It's
exists.
relatable. It's like saying that electricity isn't real.
Wait,
I'm trying to understand if you have an argument.
I'm an
there's a
electronic
God.
technician. Maybe I could have some expertise on this.
Of course. The priest is here. Come on, priest. Let's hear it.
Yeah,
the
so I was
priest is here.
I was going to my God today, Google, and I was reading my Bible, aka the dictionary, because I'm an atheist, right? And I came across this concept called.
At least you're honest about it.
A brush block. Do you know what a brush block is?
No, educate me. Tell me what it is.
Yeah, it's like a bunch of small strands of conductive material in a circle, right? Imagine like Velcro, but both of the sticky outy sides. And it's like imagine like, you know, one of those street sweeping brooms, the circular ones?
Are you talking about like your Ouija board experience last night, or what are you talking about?
Yeah, do you want to try and track for more than 3 seconds?
I'm trying, but you're losing me, bro.
Yeah,
I don't have much
like a
patience
street
with your
sweeper with
kind of
the
nonsense.
circular broom. Sorry, are you talking? Yeah, listen.
But
Yeah,
the
you
thing
know-
is, I just don't think this
Wait,
is
one second.
productive, 'cause-
No,
it's okay.
not.
That's
I
fine.
already schooled you guys. When are you gonna drop?
this can't be.
Hey,
This
the
is
real
real.
Mason. Hey, do you want to listen or no?
Yes, I'm listening to you.
Okay, do you know like a street sweeper with the circular brooms that rotate?
Mm-hmm.
Imagine those bristles were made of metal, and imagine there was another rotating broom, and the bristles were like interwoven together. That spinning can generate electricity.
No, that's the conductivity of electricity. That's friction. You're talking about friction. You're talking about the explanation that Google gives
talking about
you.
generating
You just looked up
electricity.
the definition of what friction is. Congratulations.
Real quick,
Try
I'm
it again.
about to drop, but I just want to say one thing real quick. if that's
Jesus
okay.
is king.
There's two options here.
Jesus is king, bro.
There's two options here. Either
You
this
guys
guy
will
is an
figure that
enormous.
out. By the grace
either,
of God,
either
I
this
pray
guy
you guys
is
get
an
the
enormous
insight to
troll.
have
This is a
that.
heretic. Shut the fuck up.
Mute this guy for a second. So there's two options. Either this guy is an enormous troll, right? In which case he just goes around wasting people's time to try to trigger them, or he's incredibly moronic, thinks that electricity is magic, doesn't know what an argument is, but thinks he's beating anybody. Like either way, this is a waste of everybody's time. Either he's just trolling, or he lacks even the most basic level of critical thinking. That we're all getting dumber by engaging in this completely ridiculous conversation. So
Yeah, Mason, you can unmute and say your last words, I guess.
I'm gonna drop, but I appreciate you letting me up for
The thing,
a couple
like,
minutes.
he left on his own because he still hasn't even.
No,
I never even
I
got.
kicked him. I just wanted
Okay.
him to be in the middle of talking while I did it.
Thanks for letting me up. I'm gonna
Yeah.
head out for a bit. But I'll be back
He
later.
never got a chance to give the argument.
What's
He
up,
doesn't know what an
Governor?
argument is. He wouldn't be able to. He doesn't know what an argument is.
It didn't seem like he had an argument because he kept moving away from your question.
He thinks an analogy is an argument, and he thinks
said
that
jumping on the
electricity is magic.
trampoline.
Like,
He
it's
said jumping
absurd.
on the trampoline and zapping your brother is God, right? Like,
well, like the thing is, like his whole argument was what hinging on the idea that nobody knows where electricity comes
he's
from.
back.
Awesome.
Oh yes, he's back.
Wait, Mason, do
So-
you know where electricity comes from? You can unmute your microphone.
God.
So when you say nobody knows where electricity comes from, that's a contradiction, right?
But we don't. It's a fact. It's not a contradiction. It's just a fact.
But it's contradicting
May I
the
ask a question?
statement that we don't
May I ask
know.
a question on this?
Oh, sure.
Wait.
Well,
I just want to ask him. Can I ask him a question?
I want to know
What
where
does
he thinks. Like, we manufacture electricity, right? We manufacture it. Now, I don't know how you can say we don't know where it comes from if we manufacture it. Like, do you think that
Electricity
electricity
power
gets
plants,
to your
what are we
house through
supposed to
magic?
do?
We
I'm
know
serious.
where electricity comes from. I work with electricity.
as shown.
I know we do. I just want to know
work
his.
with electricity.
Maybe one day
I
you'll
want to
get
know
a
what's in his
shock.
brain, besides nothing. Like,
I just would
No,
like to
I
hear
want to ask
something
him-
more than the baseless arguments you guys are making on here.
we haven't
No,
made
we
didn't
basic
give an
has-
argument.
like MonkeyBoy was
No, you're right.
literally
You've made no
asking you to
basic
give an
argument.
argument.
Guys,
No, I'm saying you haven't presented an argument.
No, you're just not willing to hear what I'm saying because you don't like what I'm saying.
No, I did. The
It
thing was
rubs
just
you the
that
wrong way. You want to
I
drop
felt it
me
was
while I'm. I dropped off.
Well, no, I wasn't interrupting you when I asked you to give an argument. The thing was, people were trying to explain to you your confusion about electricity, but that was kind
If
of
you guys want to have a real
unproductive because,
conversation,
in any case, explaining that he still wouldn't get closer to defending
so
God.
if you guys,
so
if
let's
you
just
guys,
try and get it. Let's just try attempt two. What's the argument God exists?
okay, let's go near that then.
Are you an Insane Clown Posse fan by chance?
So, what evidence do you need for the proof of God? What are you looking for? What's the criteria that I have to
don't
meet?
ask me. Don't ask me a question. Just offer the argument God exists.
But I would like to know which are the areas that you
your
see
best.
weaknesses
Literally any argument you have. Any.
Yeah, Mason. Maybe
Thank you, Robbie.
a valid and sound argument with the conclusion the Christian God exists. That would be good.
What do you want? You want math? You want science? You want archaeology?
I want a valid and
anything.
sound argument with the conclusion the Christian God exists.
Just give your best.
I can think up my own, but I instantly think Jesus. I just know that that's the answer, even though that there I can articulate an answer, even though that I can articulate an argument to entertain you guys, but the answer is Jesus. What he did on the cross, when we nailed him to that cross because of our sin, that's what life is all about.
Well,
But it takes
Jesus
maturity
isn't-
to get there.
Jesus isn't an argument. I'm not sure what are you saying if Jesus exists, then God exists?
No.
Then
You're
what are you
not
saying?
that.
Okay.
He has no clue
So
what he's saying.
you guys are completely sold on the beaks of the birds being gnawed down, and so they can adapt. to
No,
that
wait,
environment.
don't
You
do
believe that?
don't do
You're
this.
prevaricating.
Look, we just want an answer to the question. What is the argument? What you
But I've
offered
given
was
you the argument.
Well, hold on. What you offered was the word Jesus. Now realize Jesus is a noun and it's not even a sequence of propositions. The word Jesus isn't itself a proposition of propositions. The word Jesus isn't itself a proposition. So you haven't even gotten a sliver close to an argument, right? So we want to get clear.
You want math?
What?
Do you want science? Do you want archaeology? What do you
We
want?
said any.
What's the
I don't really care.
criteria that a
There is no
non-believer
criteria.
needs in order to believe?
Wait, I answered this. To be clear, the answer is I don't care. There's not a specific criterion. Any
There's
evidence.
no sense in the conversation, and your whole board is of no avail.
What do you mean?
You enjoy wasting your time.
I'm asking you if you have any argument God exists.
I've told you we have a scripture that can be mathematically calculated by computer programs that it's real. We have archaeology finding that's empirical evidence that you can visibly
what does that
see.
mean? Wait, hold on. Let's start at the first thing. There's supercomputers that can mathematically calculate the truth of the Bible. What does that mean?
So
Bible.
they've calculated the number of the beast according to what Revelation states using.
I'm gonna be in an Uber, so Mods, it's up to you guys. Okay.
Hey Zach, I got to drop. Thanks for having me up, man. I'll be listening though.
Yep.
Oh, that's why you guys are like this. The rainbow flag, of course. So it's back to secular thinking.
Just answer the question. Just answer the question.
But I don't have a direct place for you because I can give you math. I can tell you the book has been calculated to be true.
That's the
I
claim.
can tell you
We're
that
trying
there's
to
findings overseas.
Okay.
You can go places and find archaeology findings that
Where do you think we are in the conversation?
Thousands and thousands of years.
Well, hold on. We're at a specific point in the conversation, and either you're unaware where we are at, or you're pivoting.
Do you know a bumblebee
Don't
cannot
do this.
actually
Don't do this.
fly?
Okay, stop talking. I want to be clear where we're at, and we don't want these derails. We're going to stay linear and get clear. What is this mathematical calculation that infers the existence of the God using scripture, right? So instead of talking about bees not fucking able to fly, because no one gives a shit about that, let's get clear what this claim about mathematical calculations using scripture indicating God's existence, right? If the claim is there's some mathematical proof from scripture there's a God, just present that mathematical argument.
They've calculated the King James Version Bible with software. A computer had to do it.
Okay, and when you say they calculated King James, are you saying, what are they calculating?
So, okay, I'll give you some background. So what's happened is this. People have deposed the scriptures for so long now, but the scriptures state that precept upon precept, line upon line. It's a scripture. It's in Isaiah, and the other part, it's in Corinthians. And the scriptures have basically prophesied, and this means like looking into the future and being able to read the future because it comes true. And this is also something else that proves the scripture in the Bible too, is because these prophecies keep on being fulfilled. And the reason why I divert and I go to a bumblebee is because a bumblebee is not supposed to be able to fly with its wings, but it does.
Wait, so now the claim, well, let me clarify. Now you're changing it to prophecies were fulfilled that raises the probability of Christianity being true, right?
No. It's been mathematically calculated that the scripture's authenticity is a real authenticity. It's been calculated mathematically.
Okay, what do you mean? Okay, I don't know. Okay, when you say
I get it. I understand. I was once where you.
Okay, when you say the authenticity of the Bible is being calculated, what do you mean the authenticity of the Bible is being calculated? Are you talking about non-forged certain scriptures, or what are you saying? And we don't need the rhetoric and meta, right? So that's why I muted you. You can unmute yourself.
If B movie exists, God is true. B movie exists, therefore God is true.
I deny the second premise.
That's just the host being silly.
I think it's pretty analogous to the argument with, a little bit of sci-fi.
Yeah, just a little sprinkle of cinematics.
Yeah, I put my own flair on it for sure. But yo, I'm gonna invite you to unmute your microphone right now, Mason.
Thank you. If you guys want to mute me, you can unmute me.
Yeah, you're doing this rhetoric talking about I was once in your position. We don't want that. So look, where we're at is I'm trying to understand when you say it's been mathematically proven the authenticity of the scripture. What is that saying? Are you saying that the scriptures were not forged?
Okay, so for new Christians, I'm going to explain this to you. For new Christians, the Bible, you got to get through it enough times.
No, just say yes. Wait, just say yes or no is what that the interpretation I offered, is that accurate in capturing what you're saying? That the scriptures were not forged? Is it yes or no?
It's no, because they're translations and there's different meanings to different words from Latin to English. So translations have changed things. It's not that they were forged to be changed. The mathematical calculation, if you let me get to my point, is that the final inspired word of God is the King James Version Bible, even though man has tried to alter through translations.
I'm just trying to understand what you mean when you say it's authentic.
No,
What
you're
are you
not
saying
trying to
when
understand
you say it's
anything.
authentic.
I thought for a
Okay,
second you were, but
we
you're
don't need
not.
okay, we're not doing the commentary, the rhetoric, the psychologizing. None of that bullshit. I just want to know, when you say that it's authentic, what is that saying? I offered an interpretation to levy the conversation's progression. You said no to that interpretation and that it doesn't accurately represent your position. What you're not saying is that the scriptures were not forged when you say they are authentic. Okay, so when you say the scriptures are authentic, what are you saying? I don't need you telling me, no, I don't. I'm not trying to understand what you're saying. Offer an analysis of what you mean when you say they are authentic. That's where we're at.
They are authentic.
Hey,
Yep,
so
that's
I'm not
repeating
gonna,
the expression.
Wait 1 second. The Mason, I'm not going to be able to invite you to unmute your mic every time. I'm in an Uber right now.
And stop
so
muting
you,
me.
you can, huh? Well, I'm not muting you, so you can just unmute yourself. You're a big boy.
Yeah, you're a big boy.
I don't.
You can unmute yourself, and
I'm
every
not
time I meet you,
interested.
it's
I've
run away.
learned to listen.
I'm listening. It's just
No,
you
you're
haven't
not.
offered an account of what you mean.
And I answered you, and I said the
What was the
scriptures are
answer?
authentic.
I'm sorry. The question was, what do you mean by authentic? So when you say the response is the scriptures are authentic, it's just it's like if I said the reason I think there's not a God is gloosh. You asked me gloosh, and then I just repeat the reason I think there's not a God is gloosh. Are you now informed what gloosh means? No, the fuck you're not. So saying, when you made the expression and then you just said you responded with saying the scriptures are authentic, you have to be a very slow boy to not recognize you're not offering an account, which is what I said, and you denied and then said I did offer an account, which was repeating the expression. I have no clue what it means. So let's try again. When you say the scriptures are
Fine,
authentic,
let's try again.
What does that mean?
So the archaeology findings that are found all throughout Jerusalem, all throughout the world, what are those?
I'm asking you to present a definition of what you mean by authentic in this context.
Okay, so let's talk about the authentic archaeology findings then, since we can't agree on the other subject.
So what do you mean by authentic here?
We have the Garden of Yosemite, which is a recent finding. You have
no. Wait, no. We're not asking for any data or phenomena. We're asking what the word means.
Oh, you have Sodom and Gomorrah.
Wait, sorry. We're supposed to be offering a definition at this moment.
A definition for what?
Jesus fuck. Authentic. Give a definition for that word.
The definition of authentic? Something to be true.
Okay, so you're saying the scriptures are true and that mathematicians had used supercomputers to indicate the scripture is true.
Yes.
Okay.
We are
okay.
there.
Okay. Well, what's the argument supercomputers mathematically inferred that the scriptures are true? What is the argument for that?
You weren't listening. It calculated the number of the beast, which is what the book of Revelations says for us to do. Once we get to that pinnacle point in the scripture, that is the complete and inspired word of God, which is the King James Version Bible. Period.
Where does the King James say that?
Wait. No. Well, let's just grant him that. So the number of the beast was calculated. How are we getting to the Christian God exists?
How would a calculator that does 1 plus 1?
Wait. Don't ask me a question.
Calculate something.
No. Your task
if
right
it
now.
Calculated a complete answer with no remaining value, it's a complete answer.
Okay, your task is not to ask a question. You're supposed to be offering an answer. The question I asked was, from the fact the number of the beast was calculated, How do we get to the existence of the Christian God? Now, what's the answer?
The question doesn't make any sense at all. You're asking it like it's backwards.
Sorry, I'll explain
you're
it
playing
to you
with
since
it.
you're
You know,
confused.
you're not even explaining
Yeah,
it
if you're
the correct
confused,
way.
I'll explain
Let's
it.
just have it
What
very
you said.
simple. You want me to prove
do you
God's
want me to explain
existence?
it? Explain
Let's
it.
just have it
What
very
you said.
simple. You want me to prove
do you
God's
want me to explain it to you or not?
No,
It
because
seems
you're
confused what I just said.
it in
You
a
said-
rhetorical way. You're not.
I'm not asking in any rhetorical way. And
Yes,
what you just
you
said
are.
was you're not understanding what I'm saying. You said what I said makes no sense. If you want, I can recapitulate what I said in a way that's more clear to you. If
No,
that's
I'd rather
needed.
you not.
And
I'd
I can
rather
explain
just ask it in a different,
what the question is saying.
direct way. What's the question you're asking?
The
Spit it out.
question was direct. The question was direct. Yep. The question was, from the fact that computers calculated the number of the beast, how do we then connect the dots to the proposition the Christian God exists?
We also have other numbers. It's not just that. We know that it was
other numbers were
98% purity of phosphorus found at the Sodom and Gomorrah site.
Cool. So how are we getting from
So
those
we got a
facts
lot more
to God
science
existing?
than what God existing. Okay. Prove God's existence. That's what you're
This
asking?
guy's so lost. Jesus. Look, you named a set of things.
I'm
You
not
said-
the atheist, bro.
You said you
You're
just
telling
said
me I'm
no,
lost?
Great.
Bro,
Yes,
you're
you
the
are
one
lost.
that's lost, bro. You're like a sheep that's been programmed by the system, bro. Wake up.
We're not talking.
Read the
okay,
oldest
you're just-
book in the world, bro.
You're just equivocating on lost, but let's avoid the meta. What I'm saying you're lost in is the conversation. What your task right now is, you said that the Bible is authentic, you said that there's data about there being phosphorus in some Sodom and Gomorrah, and there also being the text of the Bible that mathematically calculated something about the beast. Okay, those two facts will grant you.
Bible is
how from those okay, we can grant you that bullshit too. From those three facts, how do we get to God?
I'm waiting for them to drop me in the bucket because I've schooled them like 6-1. This argument's so far gone that
Let's stop the meta. Okay, stop the meta. Just answer the question. Just answer the question.
You haven't even asked the question. Is God real? Is that what you're asking?
No, real. Here's what he's saying.
Oh
He's
my
saying-
God. I haven't
he's
asked
saying-
you a question.
No. Let me re-emphasize your
real.
BS.
Let me explain to you the
You're
question.
asking-
so you
No,
can
I can do
understand.
this for you guys. You're asking.
Let me
with
help
the
you understand the
authenticity
question.
of the Bible and the purity of of the garden. Is God real?
No.
No, let me help you understand
No,
the question.
no.
He said that your claim is that because there is phosphorus in Sodom and Gomorrah, and because a computer can calculate a number,
Does that prove God?
Why does that necessitate there must be a God? Why does that prove there's a God?
Because not even necessitate. How do we get there to God existing?
What is the logical jump you're making from phosphorus in Sodom and Gomorrah, computer calculates number, therefore God?
You guys should really try to figure that out, I guess. What I think about that is very simple. We have an overwhelming amount of evidence to prove God's existence. So maybe reading the oldest book in the world might make sense.
Look, you named a set of things. I'm saying from those things, if true, granted they're true, how do we get to God? In the same way, if someone made the claim,
you read the
reason
Bible.
to think, just the same way if someone were to say, the reason to think there's a cake on my table is because I have a red balloon in my backyard. Someone who's skeptical of the proposition there's a cake on the table, when presented with the fact there's a red balloon in the backyard, they don't see the connection between that fact and there being a cake on the table.
Yeah,
So
but
then
there's a
what
red
they would-
balloon
sorry,
in the backyard.
Sorry, I wasn't finished. Then what they would do is ask, okay, from the fact there's a red balloon in the backyard, how do we get to there being a cake on your table? And in the same sense, right? That's what's being asked here. The same sentiments carried. You're saying there's these facts about phosphorus found in Sodom and Gomorrah. You're saying facts about computers indicating some numerical thing about the beast code or whatever, and the Bible being the first book ever. Granted those three facts, how are we getting to the Christian God exist?
And this is all not taken into account. There could be a cake on the table. The Christian God could be true, but it's not clear how, from what you're saying, that the Christian God is true.
So we're at the question of where, like, how do we get to God now? That's not a choice we have.
This guy's so slow.
No. Listen, no. You're gonna hear me for a minute. The Bible says He orders our steps.
I'm talking about how do you get to the proposition being true? Look, suppose here's an example. If I had two premises, Socrates is man, and the second premise is all men are mortal.
That's why I lay bricks, because I like talking to the brick wall.
Oh, that's ironic. But suppose I have two propositions.
Yeah, coming from the guy.
I don't know why you're just calm down. Suppose we had two propositions. Socrates is man, and all men are mortal. Those two things get me into the proposition Socrates is mortal, right? Because if it's true for anything that qualifies being a man, it's mortal, and there's an instance of Socrates being a man, it would just logically entail Socrates is mortal. So that's a type of inference or a series of propositions that motivate the belief Socrates is mortal, right? If I was skeptical to Socrates being mortal, and I gave you the two propositions, Socrates
is nothing more than just Freemasonry.
Sorry. And if I gave you the two propositions, Socrates is man and all men are mortal, that gets me to Socrates is mortal. What I don't see is the connection between the Bible being the first book, Sodom and Gomorrah having phosphorus, and supercomputers calculating some stuff about the digits of the beasts in the Bible to the Christian God exists. So get me there.
I think it's fair to say that you're not going to get there until you get humbled.
So is that I won't give an answer?
On one of the most famous examples of modus ponens.
I'm trying to tell you the answer, but you're not willing to listen. I told you.
No, you didn't offer an read.
Never read it.
How do you know what God is saying? No, wait. Okay, well, there's a couple of things.
I mean, read what Google says when you turn to the...
Okay, just stop. There's a couple of things. You're saying read the Bible, then I would get to the conclusion God exists. Now, there's basic examples of books that we would read, and we wouldn't follow to the conclusion the contents of that book is real from me doing a broad analysis and reading of the text. So that's not a principally true thing. So if you want to say it is that way in the case of the Bible, it's just not clear why I would think something like that. And once you establish that claim, then sure, I would actually be willing to undertake reading the Bible. I would actually do that if you presented support for the claim. If I read the Bible, then I would come to the conclusion God exists, right? But that's not true for any book, that if I read it, then I come to the conclusion its contents are true. So it's not clear why I would think it's the case for the Bible. Okay, and the other thing is when you say read the Bible, that's not an answer, because that's a pivot. Because what I asked from the onset is why I think God exists. You named me a set of reasons, and I actually am not clear how those are reason giving to think there's a God. So when I asked you to illuminate how these facts motivate the proposition God exists, instead of offering an explanation to how these things connect to God being more likely to exist than not, you gave me a command which was read the Bible. So now it should be clear you didn't answer the question. And now you introduce new claims that I don't see a support for. But if you want to drop the earlier things and go to this, we could do that. Now, which is it you want to do? Not dodge or just move to this new statement about reading the Bible will get me to the conclusion God exists.
You want answers, so I'm not. That's entirely your decision on which direction you want to go. You can manipulate.
No.
But I would like to say this. Let me say one thing.
Okay. No. Look, right now, in the course of the conversation, for the progression of the conversation, we want to know what avenue you're taking so you don't run like a rabbit. What we don't want you is to run and scurry like a little bitch. We want to know whether or not you're going to offer an argument either way, either connecting the initial reasons you gave to the proposition God exists, or this new claim you introduced, an argument that if I read the Bible, then I would come to the conclusion God exists. So it's not about what path I'm taking. You're not tracking. I'm asking, what the fuck are you going to do? Yeah, sigh and don't give an answer. We'll wait until you actually are
Okay.
able to give
No,
an answer. We'll wait.
it's like this. When you're in school and you get a book and you got to give a book
we
report.
don't need this. We just need an answer. Will you defend the proposition that if
I
I
won't
read the
run
Bible,
from what
God
you're
exists?
saying because I already have the answers.
Sorry. I'm asking you a question. Use your listening ears to actually capture the question.
Yeah. Okay, get to it. Get to the point.
So will you offer an argument this time for the claim if I read the Bible, then I'll get to the
Spit it out.
conclusion God
Get it
exists?
out off your chest. You're taking
Or
too
will
long.
you get... Okay, I'll need to mute you. Will you offer an argument this time for the proposition if I read the Bible, then I'll come to the conclusion God exists? Or will you actually justify from the earlier things you've offered that raises the probability of God existing? Which will you do?
No, I'll tell you what the Bible says. Okay.
Okay.
The first
Have a nice day. We're done. Okay, now I will, since I've talked for a while, I will not speak for the next 30 minutes unless it's, I don't know, something that draws me. I don't know. You guys could talk.
Nah, you handled that guy pretty well. He even like calmed down because he saw that you were like painting him in a corner. But yeah.
This is the same thing that what's his name? He's in the chat. This Justin W tried spurging and getting his friend away from. The same very linear deconstruction of the R-wordation that his friend had.
So, just real quick, PRK. So, specifically, like the term book, it usually is referring to like being copied, not like via being handwritten. So, like the reason why the Diamond Sutra gets to be called the quote unquote oldest book is because it was using a method of like block techniques, like cutting out like blocks and stuff and writing out the Diamond Sutra in that way, as opposed to being called a manuscript, which are usually handwritten.
Yeah, dude, I obviously know that inscriptions are more ancient than Jesus. It's common sense.
Well, no, well, like that's what I'm saying. That's why it's a weird like verbal like distinction just based on the method of like why it gets to be called the quote unquote oldest book.
Well, that's why I said right in the beginning of this conversation, technically based on methods that we can use and tie back to the like dates and whatever, it is technically what we're finding is the oldest and whatever. These things are speculation when they were written, and they have their own methods to come to when they think it was. So yeah, I don't deny that there was religious texts or inscriptions before Jesus, but the Codex Sinaiticus and these manuscripts, at least we actually have them, the Dead Sea Scrolls.
No, yeah, and I wasn't saying that you weren't agreeing to that. I'm just laying out the distinction for like what Not a Demon was saying in the comments.
Yeah, that's fair. It's a silly argument we're having. That's why I said technically. I didn't even want to really get into that.
Yeah, of course. Oh, well, I don't know. I just think it's interesting.
Or W. Alex, do you believe in God?
Hi there. I'm not. I don't believe in God. I'm an atheist.
Okay, Sam, I am. Do you believe in God?
Yes, I do.
All right, get after it.
By the way, what's up, Davey?
So I like to ask you guys this question. Since you guys don't believe in God, how did we get here? And please don't tell me the Big Bang Theory, because that would be ridiculous. But go for it.
No, it's the Bing. It's the Bing Bang.
It's the Big Bang Theory.
We're all gonna have. Look, I don't think any of us are really interested in like positing how the universe began. We're really just interested in claims about whether theism or atheism is true, or even more broadly, non-theism.
Well, the Big Bang isn't a theory on how the universe began. But
Okay, so how did we all get here? Since you don't believe in a higher power.
Like I was just speaking to you, I'd like you to know that I think we're more interested in whether theism or non-theism is true, and the Big Bang is just some tertiary talking point that both of those things could accept. It's not exclusive.
Okay, so this is my problem with this conversation, right? And I have friends with atheists that I love a lot, but this is my problem with this conversation. Every time these conversations pop up, it just so happens like the demographic of people want to intelligently lock, quote unquote, people who have, I don't know, religious belief. I don't have religious belief. I'm spiritual. That all this just happened and we just got here. How
Yeah,
did that
well, like,
happen?
look, if that's your contention, then this is the live for you.
Okay,
Unfortunately,
okay,
So
okay.
so so
That's what I
Sam,
thought.
even
That's
if
what
we
I
say
thought. That's what I
even if
thought.
we say I don't know, if that was my answer, I don't know how we got here.
Okay,
Prove that
okay.
it's God.
So,
Prove
so
it's
if
Don't
God.
you don't
bring real
know,
Mason back.
if you don't know, what gives you moral compass or the moral authority to say that there is not a higher power? If
I
you
don't know what
holy
morals have
fuck!
to do with this. I'm asking you
Look,
to prove there's a God.
we're all gonna have different answers, like I just
You're a
said.
light
If you
work.
really want
I
to
thought
discuss the
it's
beginning of the
exactly what I
universe,
thought. You're a light work.
well, like, look, I'll just ask
Drop
you a
me
question
down.
then. Do
Y'all
you?
get your shit together, then have this conversation.
Why is
Drop
this
me
guy
down.
so? Why is this guy
You're
so
light
rude?
work.
So confrontational.
He's
Well,
about
like,
to run
look,
away.
do
Yo,
you
because
think?
I've been listening to your conversations in the comment, and you got the.
Wait, let's
Yeah, I'm
not
not
bring the
interested in
real
your feelings,
Mason
right?
back, by the
Not
way.
interested. What I'm interested in is whether you think some sort of creation theory is exclusive to theism or non-theism. Let's answer that question first. Maybe this will display your confusion. So usually adults can find the like little mute button on the bottom right of their screen. There you go.
Oh, is that where we're going now?
Actually, that's wrong. Usually adults on this app can, which is kind of strange.
Sam, if you wouldn't mind answering the question.
I already did.
What question did I just ask you?
You want me to repeat your own question?
Yeah, because I don't think you were listening. You just said
Okay.
you gave an answer, and I don't think you gave a substantive or
I
a
did. You're
responsive
just being
answer.
biased. That's the problem. You're
What was
just
the
being
answer?
biased. Bruh, we're not going to do this. Do you
Okay, well then,
believe
if you didn't hear the
you're
question,
an
just say
atheist,
that.
right? You're
Look,
an
if
atheist.
you didn't hear the question, then just say that, and we'll keep this linear. All right? Keep on the trend with MonkeyBoy. Do you think some creationist story, right, is exclusive to theism or non-theism, or could both agree to some creation theory?
If you agree to a creation theory, then how does that make you atheist?
Because
What?
atheism is the thesis that God does not exist, not that the universe doesn't have some type of creation or beginning, right? That's not entailed. This is where your confusion is. This is why I
No, this
said to
is where
you,
you are lost because every time atheists say hear God, they're quick to make it an Abrahamic religion thing. That's the problem.
have I done that with you in this conversation so far?
I've been listening to you in the comments. I came.
Yeah, I haven't spoken for 45 minutes. I've been in Walmart shopping. If
No,
I've
he's
not done
he's
something
been
with you in
listening
a
to you in the
conversation,
comments.
then look, all you have to do is tell me, Cage, no, there or nihilism, look, it's not exclusive to one or the other
Bro,
view.
I
I'm
eat
sorry.
atheists for dinner. Every time I ask them this question, they can't answer. Go do your homework.
Look,
Hey
just
Sam.
don't
Hey
don't
Sam.
don't do
Sam,
this.
do you know what an internal critique is?
Never met. Can we bring back the other fucking idiot? He
Sam
was a little
doesn't.
bit
I don't
better.
think Sam knows what
Y'all
internal
drop me,
means.
please.
No, I think you have to give him like a. I
Oh,
was gonna say
sorry.
give him
Wait, Jim, I
crutches
can
and
bring it
work
back
with
up for
him.
you, but
That dude needed a flogging.
Sam, even if each of us had a different explanation for how the world began, and you could prove each one of those wrong, it still doesn't prove your creation theory right. So we were asking, why is yours correct?
It doesn't even
So you could
matter.
have just.
It really doesn't matter. It could be the case that all of our creation, like theories are wrong, and that still
That's
wouldn't
what I'm.
make atheism false.
That's what I'm saying. Is the question is why is yours right?
You know, let's just keep this in here because I really, really
I'm
for the
here
meta,
for this
Sam. So all
drama.
this laughing you're doing is going to piss me off, right? And I want to keep this linear. Do you think some creation story is exclusive to atheism or not, or non-theism or theism? And if so, how does that follow through some type of entailment you'd like to make?
Yeah, this is the portion where you unmute and answer the question.
I think we have to walk him through.
That was rhetorically appealing.
Okay, look. There's a little mic icon at the bottom of the screen. One of those like sausage fingers you have. You tap. Use those to tap that thing.
All right,
and then
cool, cool. Yeah, my fingers are soft. Thank you. I appreciate that. So help me
sausage,
understand.
not soft.
Whatever.
I'm granting you your fingers are
You're
soft.
not going to run away, bruv. You're not going to run away. My question still stands.
Who
If
is
you
running
don't
away?
believe
Damn
in
it!
my
a
God.
higher
I was
power,
gonna get
how did
that was
all
gonna get
this
away
get
this time.
here, atheist?
Did you hear my question, Sam? Right? My question?
Bruv, I eat you up for dinner. I do this in so many
Yeah.
lives,
So if
okay?
that's the case, then answer the
Look,
question. Answer the
look, my
question.
brother in Christ. We're going to answer the question whether you want to or not. Right? So look, is it the case? All right, whatever. Fuck it.
Bro,
Bring him back. Bring him
I
back.
eat you for dinner.
Sam, you ate me. Fine. My belief in what happened in the beginning of the universe is wrong. Now, why is yours right?
That doesn't even matter. It
It
could be
doesn't.
the
It
case that
doesn't
his is
matter.
right and yours is false. That doesn't make atheism true or false or theism true or false.
I know, but he's going to make an argument about theism when he talks about his creation, and this is what we're trying to get to, right?
No, look, there's
Is he
like
still
multiple
here?
stages here, right? The stages that you would have to do that are one, prove that creation happened, which both the atheist and the theist can accept. Actually, a lot of atheists tend to accept that, not all of them. And then furthermore, you would have to establish some further commitments that the atheist is not going to only find unintuitive, but repulsive, right? They're going to be like actively rejecting that and providing some counter argument or like through some counter
I
possibles
think
or counterfactuals.
I think what you should have done was just say, well, let's say the universe has a causal explanation. There's an explanation for its existence. Why think the explanation is a god? And then see what his reasons were to get from the universe was created to God.
I'm not really convinced that he has clear what an atheist is.
This is awesome.
You
All
know,
right.
because it just seems confused in his notion that
He says
I've been
if you don't accept the creation story, then you're an atheist. If you accept the creation story, then you're a theist.
No, that's what you're indoctrinated to believe because you will not read a book because you guys don't lack critical
Oh my
thinking
god, it's
skills.
socially
All right,
you're like
So let's just
socially
get that out of
inept.
the way. All right. So why was I summoned again? You guys are light work. Why was I summoned?
Look,
We're light
so
work.
yeah, nihilism asks you a
Duh.
question. So say the universe has a cause. Let's say that. Why think God caused the universe to exist?
What is wrong? What are you smoking? Drop it. What
Wait. Look,
He's not gonna answer the question.
Look, Sam.
Oh, it was it?
Let's just not laugh over the question and dodge. All right. Okay. Well, he ran.
Don't you
that
know
guy
that's
was
how
not.
you win
Wait,
arguments?
MonkeyBoy. Wait, I'm sure he has a very convincing stage 2 argument.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. Yeah.
Don't you know that's how you win arguments now? You just laugh and then leave.
yeah, is this notion of cooking atheists just like laughing at questions and
his stage 2 argument is
I
it's
think so, Jim. I
self-evident.
think so.
It's self-evident.
I might need
that
to
if
try
there's
that
a cause, then
method.
it's God.
Ha ha ha,
Is
therefore
that
God.
is that the new meta to just like do that? I've been doing it wrong then.
P1
No,
ha, P2 ha, conclusion.
He's
Y'all
not.
dropped me. Okay.
He's not good because no one dropped you. Wait, he was dropped? I didn't even know. I thought he ran.
It's not the first time. I'm used to it. It's okay. So, let's get back to the conversation.
It's kind of like when you get striked by a snake, you get like used to the venom, right?
Let's not pause. Let's go back to the conversation. Let's not pause.
Okay.
Ladies, let's not pause.
Sure. The question that we're asking, particularly I'm asking, is if the Earth was created, if the universe rather was created, why is it more
sorry, can I cut you? That's a dumb question because we can observe the Earth.
Okay, well, we're both granting it, right? So you don't have to worry about the innatity of it. Look, if it was created, why is it more expected under theism than atheism? And just to be clear, I'm asking you for the evidence, right? When I say more expected, I'm asking for evidence.
I promise you, dude, if you walk outside, you will see trees, plants, animals. I promise you they didn't get here by accident.
Yeah, look, I haven't touched grass in quite a long time, so I might not be up to date.
If you cannot intellectually
Look,
read a book,
I have not touched grass in quite some time, so I might not be familiar with Earth's horticulture as of recent, but that's not the question I asked you.
Why is bro soy
I
facing?
eat you up for dinner. I do this on a daily.
Look,
Wait, we don't need that.
Run.
Okay, we get it.
I
You
do
eat us
this
for
on a
dinner.
daily.
Now answer his question.
Your only bargain chip.
Okay, you've already said this. Just answer.
I mean, if y'all gonna let me talk, then yeah. If y'all not going to do that, let me drop, man. And you're
not attempting to answer. You just keep on every time we
Because-
ask you a question.
No,
And the
if
reason
you
we mute
ask me a
you,
stupid
is because you don't answer.
Then when you unmute, instead of giving the answer which was the cause of you getting muted from the first place, instead of actually doing the thing to avoid the
I
mute
will
and
not
answering,
answer
what you
anything.
do is then you start doing this cringe meta about how you eat up all the atheists for breakfast. No one gives a shit.
Okay, then. Ask me an intelligent. Don't ask me a stupid.
We don't care if you eat atheist eggs and sausages.
All right,
We
then
just
let
want to
me
know.
leave you so you guys can have your merry day.
Okay, so then go eat more atheist egg and sausages.
Because me being
So
here
that's
obviously
you winning an
makes you
argument running.
cringe.
Is that you winning an argument? You running? Right?
That's
Just
the point.
Not engaging. Not engaging.
That's the point.
That's the point. The point is, there's no point. I don't need to win. It's obvious. Step outside.
So then what's
Look
your
around you. Everything
what's your
around you
concept?
is creation. For there to be a creation, there have to be a creation.
I don't think you understand the dialectic here, right? Let's say that we grant you that there is some type of creation. That doesn't necessarily negate the fact that that creation was something other than a god, right? You could still be an atheist, not believing in a god or gods.
Goes back to my initial point.
I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm in the middle of a sentence. How about you stop before you eat me up, right? Quote unquote, eat me up. So you do understand that one could hold to some notion of creation and still hold to the notion that there exists no gods, right? Your claim is that it necessarily entails that if you believe in creation, therefore you're a theist. That's what we're asking you for.
Okay, so this is the problem. Atheists are so slow.
Yeah, can you repeat what I said?
About God.
Yeah, I'm sorry. The next words out of your mouth is you repeating what I said so you can engage properly.
Okay, sir, I'm listening. No, this is awesome, bro. No.
Look, I think this is a waste of time. Sam, I'm sure you have a large docket of atheist meals you've got.
This is a waste of my time. You're actually right.
Sam,
too low intelligence.
Wait, Sam, before you go, we just want to know. So let's just say we all think the universe came from somewhere. You think it came from God. We just want to know why. I don't know what was unclear.
Okay. Dear atheists, this is the problem you guys have, right? Every time the concept of God is spoken about, I don't know what happens in your brain, and
no. Wait, I just asked you a question.
No.
Why are you dodging?
Let me understand why every time the word God
look. If you keep
up,
Sam, if you keep talking, without. Okay, I can't.
This is pretty embarrassing. That you're
I
dodging.
to believe it can be this difficult for someone to answer a question.
It's crazy.
And of course, I'm sure Present in chat has a very good stage 2 argument as well.
I bet Sam has a bunch of other good positions like anti-trans and what are some
here
other
we
ones
go.
you might have?
Projected. Here we go. This is awesome. I knew you were going to get there at some point. Frustration. That's what
you knew it. That's so
That's
dope.
what frustration.
I'm so glad you knew.
Yeah.
You're such a smart guy.
You guys are cakewalk.
Your
I see this
parents
all
are
the
proud of
time.
you.
You're
But look-
predictable.
Yeah.
I see through you. That's why I came up here.
Yeah, I'm like
The light
glass. You know, a
work.
lot of people call me
You guys are
Mr.
light
Glass
work.
because they could see through me.
You guys are light.
Yeah, I'm light work. It's like lifting.
You
It's
see
like
it?
lifting
Well, can't you see
styrofoam.
your light work
almost.
though?
Yeah, I do see it now.
Okay, good.
I was oblivious earlier now,
awesome.
but I just want to know. I'm styrofoam. But I have one question still stuck on my mind. So the universe has a cause. Why think of God? I just don't get it.
Oh my God, Jesus Christ! This is crazy.
What is that? Are you clap? What was that clap? Was that your cheeks or what?
I can't. I can't.
That's his cheeks getting clapped by your argumentation.
You know, there's no cure for being inept. I understand it. I feel you.
Yeah,
So
that's something.
Actually, there is cures for.
That's something I've concluded with you.
Yeah,
there is cures for stinging of the ass.
Standing question to y'all, and y'all don't. I don't know why I can't sing through it because I believe I'm speaking English. Why is it that every time when the concept of God is mentioned, atheists are very quick to put that conversation in the box of Abrahamic religion? Why? Because the Abrahamic religion.
No one
is
even
not the
mentioned
first
Abrahamic religion
You had
here.
Asian
So.
chemic.
Sam, you have to deal with their arguments as they are coming at you, right? It's normative nihilism. None of them have ever mentioned the word Abrahamic God to you in any of their questions. They are just saying God.
I've been listening to the conversation the entire time.
But okay, so when did they mention the Abrahamic God? When did they specifically mention the Abrahamic God?
Wasn't the Bible brought up in this conversation before I got up to the panel? What
The
is the
previous
Bible?
conversation,
The
moron, with the
previous
We were
theist.
conversation, not
talking with
this
a
conversation.
Christian
Oh my
before.
God. Even this
And we were
present
talking
conversation,
with
y'all
the
pivoting
Christian.
from my question.
Wait, okay, look, let's just get clear. Are you a part of the Abrahamic faith?
Fuck no.
Okay, great. So then we don't have to talk about it, right?
Because that's your angle. That's the only
No, it's
angle you
No,
guys
not.
can
that's not
take.
anyone's angle.
No, it's not. Look, if we're both willing to
Is
agree,
Christianity
we're
the
not going to
oldest
talk
religion
about.
and is
Look. If
Christianity
we're
the
both willing
oldest
to
religion
agree,
on the planet? The answer
yeah,
is
I don't
no.
care. I don't give a shit, right? I care about you and your arguments, not the previous guest's arguments.
Hey, go read a book, all right? Cheers. It was awesome talking to y'all. Go read a book.
I read a book, but before I read that book,
Monkey Boy. You know Sam thinks, or J Rob thinks Sam is cooking us.
Of course he does.
you know, J Rob always has true beliefs.
No, you guys just couldn't understand his arguments.
You're right. It was unintelligible. I agree.
I think you all need to go get exorcisms and then listen to his argument again, and then you might understand.
I can perform the exorcism.
You think? I think I need some type of reverse exorcism where the
I
priest,
think there should
puts
be
the
like
demon in me.
I can do that
There
too.
should be like a big poll on TikTok, and if you thought Sam did good there, you should just be banned off the app.
You can do that too.
Yeah, I'm trained in the ways of Buddhist exorcism.
I gotta schedule myself with you then. I need one of
Yeah,
those.
I've been looking for somebody to put it. Wait, pause. Hold on.
Unpause.
Full gas with Monkey Boy.
What?
No brakes in
I
this
gotta
bitch.
Hell no.
Guys, he was right. There's trees out here.
All gas, no brakes.
Wait, no, you can't say that. Is he still watching? You had to wait until he was out to admit the truth.
Davey verse. Look, President couldn't fucking form a coherent sentence. I don't think it's a good use of time to have Davey speak. Or actually, Eddie versus President might be intelligible considering they don't hold the same theistic view. But that's like watching the Special Olympics sometimes. And by Special Olympics, I don't mean the good Special Olympics. I mean like the bottom two in every event.
Wait, what's his view?
You know,
Theism?
Russell gave a great idea. Present versus Davy.
Well, you said we had different views or something, so that's what I was asking. What the distinction
Yeah,
was.
he's not a virtue ethicist, and you are.
Oh, I see. Well, yeah, none of you can defeat my argument for God.
Which is?
I took the last idiot. Jim, your turn.
Yeah, Jim can have this one, or Davy. Anyone. I don't care.
Yeah, like simply when we look at evolutionary biology, we see a disproportionate amount of biased mutations as opposed to random mutations. So under atheism, I think it would be...
He already built in bias mutations. Okay, start with question begging.
Bias toward what?
Like
bias
bias
toward what?
Yeah, bias towards...
A bias is an unfair psychological attitude. So you're saying the mutations were favoring some psychological attitudes opposed to another, which just question begs design. But
The word can also be.
What are you talking
in other
about?
ways.
Like, this isn't. Wait, this.
So what do
isn't,
you mean bias?
Wait, this is just how the term. This is how the term is used in evolutionary science. They call it
Bias towards what?
Bias towards like future functionality of the organism.
So
what does bias here mean, though?
Because what exists today functions.
Like they have
a prior guiding it towards functioning.
The proclivity, like they have a higher proclivity to mutate in such a way that would be beneficial towards the function of the organism, as opposed to a way that wouldn't.
It's just
be.
more likely that it. Okay,
So,
if it's just his likelihood is terms, then.
So first, what if everything was not in such a way that it was higher functioning? Would you then say that some creator preference it towards not functioning?
I know, probably not. I'm not sure.
So your argument is functioning requires creator. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, if we see, when we see things becoming like simultaneously like more complex yet more functional than.
Okay, can you define complexity for me?
Less. Let me think.
I think complexity is that doesn't require definition. But when you say, what
Okay,
was
so
the
the
thing you said?
reason I ask
I mean,
is
less
Design.
creationists also believe that rocks are created, and so I'm trying to see what the distinction between a rock is that may not be complex and a human that is complex, and why one requires a God and the other doesn't if the creationist believes all things created are complex.
Well, I think you guys share the concept of complexity. I just don't know where, maybe clarify created, because if that has a component of intentionality, then from two objects being complex, how do you get that there's like the configuration of this complexity was intended would be more interesting.
Yeah, so why design? Like what level of complexity requires design, I guess is what I'm getting at.
Let me think. I guess whatever level of complexity is required for living things to persist.
So rocks could exist without a intelligent designer, yeah.
Perhaps, yeah.
So the entire universe we could say could have got here on its own, and then God created life, yeah.
I mean, it's logically possible. I don't know about the other modalities.
Okay, so I want you to start there, right? Then the only thing that we have proof of, if we give you that life required a designer, is that the designer created life, correct?
Yeah. Well, the only thing I'm zooming in on life itself. I'm not making some kind of cosmological arguments or anything like that. So, like the argument that I'm making from intelligent design is specifically regarding intelligent design in organisms.
Okay, so why then does life? I guess what's the threshold of complexity for life? Let's say a single-celled organism, compared to other things in nature that seem to also be complex, like geographical formations.
I guess like the complex the complex, I guess, like mechanistic arrangements that have to be sort of like that would have had to be simultaneously created, that like whilst being like interdependent on one another.
Okay, I want to get there, but I also wonder if that doesn't also apply to geographical formations. To do what they do, they had to exist at a certain time frame.
Like, what are you when you say it might be required for like your geographical formations?
Like for the
what are you saying that they're doing?
For the movement of tectonic plates, for the let's say the outgrow of lava and everything that creates what we see around us, for the rain that causes the different things that it causes, for rivers, for lakes, for oceans, for all of this that we have. I'm assuming the exact format, the exact timing, nature of each thing coming into place when it did had to happen. So what we're doing is we're looking at what we have today, and then we're just looking back and saying, oh, all these things that happened as they did to get to where we are today. And that doesn't really make a big argument for me.
Well, because like when we're observing something that's like purely inanimate, it's not clear that it's ordered towards any certain any sort of like function. So I guess it would be like based on
like why couldn't having tectonic plates move the way they do also be an intended function?
I don't know. Maybe it could be. I don't know.
But Eddie, there's like a more fundamental issue, which is to say that these things are evidence for design. You must first deduce the expectation. It first has to be shown that the hypothesis expects that data, for which then the data being true in light of the hypothesis motivates it. Like, take an example where I had the hypothesis, there's a cake on my table, and we had the fact, and I said the evidence is there's a balloon in my backyard. The fact is that there being that data of a balloon in my backyard isn't expected if the cake were true. Thus, it's not evidence. So it's not even clear if there was a Christian God, we would have these types of geological facts, cosmological facts that you're presenting, right? Unless you're going to give the argument from Christianity, we could deduce that this would be the case, right? I don't know what it would be. You appeal to the Bible and it talks about facts about the earth being this way or what, but I don't even see how that's expected yet.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is like what necessitates or what shows that there must be a designer? What is a threshold? And it seems to me that you admitted that everything that exists as it does today could have also been intended. So there's really no difference between what we see in nature and in life that would say one is more of a system or function than the other.
Well, I guess under the I think under the atheist view, I think we would just expect we would simply expect, I guess, more randomness. Whereas under a theist view, we would expect.
So can you define? Well, you don't have to define it, but when you say random, do you just mean things that we can't explain yet because we don't have enough calculations, enough data to map it all predictably?
Wait,
No,
Dave,
I mean,
did you hear
random-
what he said?
Random
That
doesn't
atheism
necessarily
expects
mean
randomness.
Random doesn't necessarily
I would
mean like
expect that.
indeterminate. It doesn't necessarily mean like indeterminate or uncaused. Like perhaps you could stipulate that if we had like a holistic account of all the empirical like physical facts, like we could predict everything that were to occur. When I say random, I just mean like not ordered in any particular like towards any particular function.
Right. So the only way
A
we would have
non-ordered
randomness-
expectation. What is
The only
this
way
guy
we'd
saying?
have randomness is if we didn't have any laws governing the universe.
Well, no, that's not
Well,
what I mean.
how would you have a
Then you'd
prediction and
no, because
expectation
that would
if
require
there's
that would
not
require
patterns and
the laws
order?
of the universe. That the laws of the universe are like are particularly responsible for the intelligent design that I'm observing. I'm not postulating that those laws are responsible. So they would still fit under this definition of random, given that they're not uh, they don't necessarily have to bring about this particular sort of order that I'm talking about here, which is the order that we see in complexity.
You're only seeing order by looking at what we have and then inferring that it had to be so, that it had to get to here.
Well,
You
yeah.
could really take presence intelligence down to the comments and say that order, therefore design. Or sorry, order, therefore intention and design. That obviously is the intelligent way to go. Just giving you some tips.
But order, are you? I don't know even if you're a Christian or not, but did I say order? I meant Eddie. You haven't shown yet. So there's one thing. You made the claim atheism expects randomness more. I'm also not clear on your account of randomness because you said there can be some causal facts that explain the things. So by random, you don't mean unexplained. So I don't really know what you mean by random.
Like just not necessarily ordered, not necessarily ordered towards any particular function.
So why
I'm not sure what that means either.
Why must things not follow rules without God? I assume that's what you mean by random, if I understand.
Are you just saying the way that things function, the order or the configuration of things that bring about certain functions isn't expected under atheism about or like background facts of the world? And how are those facts more expected under Christianity?
Because theism grants us, gives us this sort of qualitative explanatory power for this sort of order in living things.
That's just repeating it's expected. I just want to know, how do you deduce the expectation?
I'm deducing it. Well, I guess I'm deducing it sort of. Let me think.
You
like
haven't made the
bottom up.
deduction.
Like I'm
That's
starting
my point.
from living. Well, because what God would just by like
You have to give the argument that this fact is likely, considering the hypothesis Christianity is true.
Well, no, I'm not interested in doing apologetics here. I just want to strictly defend intelligent design, not apologetics.
In order to, oh my God,
go ahead. Sorry.
Wait, you think you have to?
What distinction are you making?
No, I wasn't saying.
Intelligent
Oh my
design
God,
is
I was saying.
Yeah,
I don't know what you mean a non-apologetic design argument, but I don't know what you mean by you're not in any case, all I'm saying is that in order to have the design argument prevail, you would just have to establish that this thing were expected, then not if there is an intelligent designer, right? And bare intelligent design doesn't generate any expectations about the way the world's configured.
Wait, obviously, like the qualitative explanatory power just comes from God's omni properties. But are you saying that I have to justify like why God would have a will to create living beings in the first place, or am I lost?
You would have to give the argument that facts about certain things you're appealing to are expected.
And I would actually argue that randomness would be more expected under a God that has a mind that can therefore interact with and change the world in unexpected ways. What we would perceive as random, as opposed to a universe that's ordered and structured by natural laws that don't change, that then is actually not random. So I would think the intelligent design would be more leaning towards random, not lack of randomness.
Wait, I'm not sure why that would follow that like the order would seem random to us, why would that be true under theism but not atheism? Like why would we be able to discern certain patterns
with
in
natural
laws under atheism but not theism?
For natural laws, if we could, in theory, take all the data, we could make an interpretation of everything that would occur. So the order and structure is actually lending itself towards natural. Random would be something acting outside of nature, right? Something we could not predict by natural laws. So that would be more along the lines of an intelligent designer, not order and structure.
Yeah, wait, but given that our perceptions of the external world are accurate, and that empiricism and rationality perhaps are useful. Like we're just observing these features of the world like a posteriori. So like I don't think it would change either. I don't think the intelligibility would change under either.
Intelligibility is not expected under bare intelligent design is one thing.
And I don't know all the philosophy words.
No, he's postulating that it would be less expected under intelligent design.
Well, he never made that claim. I don't know where what he said that indicated that.
I just said he needs to use layman terms with me. I don't know all the philosophy stuff.
Well, no, it seemed like you're saying
bare design
to assess patterns
just,
or make sense of the empirical facts like would be like less expected under intelligent design for some reason. That's what I was.
I'm just thinking about Detroyer's argument with the two constraints, where if the prior likelihood of bare design and bare non-design, if bare non-design is at least as likely, so that bare design doesn't exceed it in its prior probability, and then if the bias and the mutations is at least as likely, or is at least as expected on bare non-design as on bare design, then that means that non-bare design, the posterior probability isn't going to exceed the non-bare non-design hypothesis, or the bare non-design hypothesis, right? That's just deducible from the axioms of probability.
Yeah, but like Detroit is super intelligent, so I don't know what that did. I just felt like sucking off Detroit, no homo.
Maybe you'd have to go step by step. I don't know if he tracked all that, to be honest.
Well, I didn't track what Davey just said.
So, have you read Detroyer's argument against fine-tuning?
No, I haven't.
So we can kind of repurpose. So basically, do you understand the difference between bare design and non-bare design?
No, I don't think so.
So bare design is just the hypothesis that the universe was designed, or that the universe was created, right?
Yeah.
By a mind, basically. Then non-bare design is bare design plus some assumptions. So like maybe the creator or the designer is loving or desires to see life. Those are like additional assumptions, right? And those will lower the prior probability of the theory. So Detroyer basically shows with probability theory that as long as you accept two things, then you'll get this conclusion. And so the two things are, one, that and bare non-design is just the hypothesis that the universe wasn't designed or created, basically. So you have bare non-design and bare design, and then non-bare is when you add additional assumptions into the theory, and you like flesh it out more. So the first constraint, the first assumption is that bare non-design bare non-design has at least as high of a prior probability as bare design. So bare non-design and bare design, they're at least on par in terms of our priors. And then the second assumption is that whatever the data we're looking at is at least as expected on bare non-design as it is on bare design. And if you accept both of those, then the posterior probability of bare non-design will not be less than bare design.
But then how do you get to the priors in the first place?
What do you mean, how do you get to the priors?
Like how do you determine like what the prior probability of each view?
Well, why would we think that bare design has a higher prior probability? It makes more assumptions.
Well, because it might be
he doesn't know how to gauge the priors is the issue.
Well, no, because it might have more. It would just have, like by definition, it would just have more qualitative explanatory power.
How could it have any explanatory power? It doesn't make any predictions.
I tried explaining this to him. If it doesn't expect the thing, it can't have explanatory power.
The point about
to say that has explanatory power is to say it expects.
Yeah, the point about bare design is that it doesn't say anything about the mind of the person. So, like, we could add the assumption that the mind is evil or something, and then it starts to expect evil things, right? So it doesn't make any predictions.
Well, that was my next question was going to be like, why does adding in like attributes like loving, why does that lower the priors?
Because additional, this is just
any constraint lowers the prior. It's just like basic probability.
Probability for any problem, like, so the probability of A is greater than or equal to the probability of A and B.
Yeah.
And it's just a basic, basic thing in, I guess you could call it worldview comparison, that adding in additional assumptions makes it less probable because there's more things that need to be true in order for the whole conjunction to be true, right?
Yeah, but then I think like what you lose quantitatively in terms of explanatory power, you gain qualitatively. So that's why I don't think it does lower the priors.
But what predictions does bare design make?
Well, I'm not sure.
Saying that there's an exchange between the lowering the prior to gain certain theoretical virtues like explanatory power.
So do you accept the first assumption?
Yeah, like I'm willing to grant that the attributes are there, like that this like creator might be good, loving, and
do you accept the first assumption?
What was the first assumption?
The constraint on the priors.
No, I don't think it lowers the priors now to add in these attributes.
That's not the first.
Well, that's literally deduced from Kolmogorov axioms. I mean, look, let's say I had a bag of infinite jelly beans, and there's a variety of infinite colors of jelly beans.
Wait. You can explain this, but that's not even the first assumption. The first assumption is that the prior probability of bare non-design is at least as high as the prior probability of bare design. That's the first assumption.
Wait, say it again. What is it? Non-bare design versus bare design. You're saying, correct?
The prior probability of bare non-design is greater than or equal to the prior probability of bare design. So it could also be equal. So it could be like 50-50. That's considered very generous on Detroiter's part because most people would think the prior isn't just greater than or equal to, but actually greater than. But do you accept that assumption? It's greater than or equal to bare design?
I mean, I have to think about it more to like really conceive of it. But I mean, for the sake of this discussion, I'll say yeah.
Okay. And then the second assumption is that so whatever the data is, so like let's say that's the bias in the mutations, right? That's what you were talking about. Let's say, do you agree to this second assumption that bias in the mutations is just as expected, or is at least as expected, on bare non-design as bare design? So remember, with bare design, we're not saying, all we're saying is that the universe was designed. The mind could be literally any way. So, yeah.
Well, I don't know. I don't think it would be just as expected under like bare non-design.
Why would it be more expected? Or why would it be more expected on bare design? By the way, it's at least as expected. It could actually be more expected, but
I mean, it almost. I mean, to me, I mean, I could be confused, but like to me, it just almost just seems trivial given what design is.
Yeah, this is why I wanted to give him like maybe an intuition bump.
Okay, so like let's say there's a mind, right, and it designed the universe, and let's say we add an assumption, and that assumption is that the mind very, very much doesn't want evolution to happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then that would create the expectation that there isn't biased mutations towards intelligent life, right?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
So the bare design hypothesis doesn't really say anything about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So would you agree to the second assumption then that the bias in the mutations is at least as expected on bare non-design as bare design?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So then Detroiter does some complicated probability math that I don't remember off the top of my head, but basically shows that if you accept those two assumptions, then that means that like the final calculation of the probability is that the bare non-design is at least as probable as the bare design.
Okay.
Or sorry. The non-bare design. Wait, let me make sure.
Well, I mean, I think I understand it now. Yeah. So like, given what you said, I do agree that would follow.
I mean, you can find the math.
I don't know how
over
this
his
is
page.
hard. It's like asking, is it more likely walking the street you are to come across a cat simplicator or specifically a black cat? Of course, the likelihood of coming across a cat is either equal to or greater than specifically a black cat.
Okay, yeah, so the final derivation he has is that bare non-design is greater than or equal to in posterior probability to non-bare design. So non-bare is where you add those assumptions. So basically what he just finds is whatever assumptions you add, given those prior constraints to bare design, such that it becomes non-bare design, like you start adding things, it's going to lower the prior the same amount to where the posterior probability doesn't change.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
So even though the conditional probability, so like you understand, obviously, if you put in, oh, it's loving and it wants evolution, then the conditional probability goes up of that sort of data you're expecting, right? But then it correspondingly lowers the prior probability since it's more complicated, and then it basically evens out to being the exact same as the bare design.
Yeah, that makes sense. Where is his? Is this on his YouTube page or what?
He has a YouTube video on it, but I don't think he likes it very much. So if you just look up friction fine tuning, I think it'll come up on Google. I'll put it in chat.
Sounds good.
What was
Not
the
gonna
reason
lie,
he came up
design
with this
arguments are
argument
terrible.
again? Like, did he come up with this argument because of like the Discord meta at the time was fine tuning? No, present. Come up here and tell us exactly why Detroyer is wrong.
Do we want to do that?
I would pay so much money to see present even look at probability math.
You know, we actually had present on my live talk about probability, and I'm gonna tell you, I don't think it's gonna go. Well, I mean, it's kind of
Was I
obvious
there?
it's not gonna go
Was I
anywhere.
there?
I would like to
Well,
see.
let's say he has a strange view about probability that's like unintelligible.
I would like to see President versus Tupac.
Oh Jesus!
Davey, did you put it in the chat? Because if you did, it filtered it.
Hey, traditional embracer. Just out of curiosity, when we started the conversation, you said something to the effect of you have an argument that's never been refuted or something to that effect. I wonder if you would admit that it's kind of a complex issue and it's pretty deep.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's definitely
to say design arguments never been refuted is like extremely silly.
Well, it's complex.
I'm pretty sure they're really terrible in philosophy of religion and unpopular. That's, or at least I would think so.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure he understood it's not as cut and dry as he originally thought.
Well, no, I just like to say those things to kind of like just invigorate the panel.
I got you.
Yeah.
No, I have a personal belief. It's not a knowledge though. It's not based on my logical brain. So,
I see.
I don't try to prove it, but I do like to hear others' ideas and then still see why they are correct or inaccurate.
Yeah, me too.
So are we going to get President up here, or did he all of a sudden have something to do after yapping in the comments for 45 minutes?
Wait, MonkeyBoy, you know Matthew Adelstein rejects both assumptions, both constraints? And he did that in his debate against Mason?
Yeah, he is extremely... Yeah, I was actually going to mention that sounds like something he would do in a conversation with Mason. But yeah, Matt is just like... Well, first, I think he's an atheist. I'm one of those people who think him and... what's his name from Discord? The Ethan Moose. Those people are probably just atheists who LARP as, like... They're the best apologists you would see, and they're also like probably people I think are not.
Because he's a moral realist. He knows it'd be objectively wrong. He'd never do it, right?
He and that's one of the things. The fact that from objective, like moral realism, he said that that's what got him closer to God, which is the strangest thing to say.
Did he actually say that?
Yeah, he said that.
What is your view
about meta-ethics?
Let me send it again in chat.
No,
Do you see it?
sorry. Theism, atheism.
Oh, I'm an atheist.
Wait, tradition embracer. Do you see it in chat?
No, I don't see it.
I'm MonkeyBoy on an alt. I don't know if you know who that is.
Just tell me one more time what to type in on Google.
Let me try this. Do you see that?
No, I don't see it.
Bruh. MonkeyBoy.
I see it.
No,
it's right there.
Now. I see it. All right, thank you.
MonkeyBoy, say right now on your dead ones that you'll be an anti-realist to the day you die.
About like I'm probably always going to be a normative anti-realist about it. Any type of normativity. I don't think those are like, I don't know, maybe I'll become a relaxed realist, but I doubt that.
Dude, I talked to Evan about relaxed realism for 45 minutes, where he tried to persuade me to relax realism from quasi-realism just for the conversation to end. And yeah, but quasi-realism's probably better right now, though.
Look,
I was so
look,
confused.
Kayj, just relax.
Bro, that's I forgot 10 and 1. You're right. How could I?
Who's Kayj in you?
I hear the movement of video game controller.
Dude, my fucking cabin air
Oh,
filter
yeah,
is
hold on.
disgusting.
Oh my god, MonkeyBoy's mic is so loud.
Who's Kayj on here?
Nihilism.
That's me. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Going on different accounts is entertaining because people don't know like my views on things most often than not. And if I know them from my other accounts, they usually tend not to challenge me due to some previous rapport, which doesn't really lead to any productive conversations.
Well, if I ever disagree with you, I'll keep going at it because I'm stubborn.
I appreciate that. I mean, what's
Also,
the
probably
saying?
dumb. I'm probably dumb.
Iron.
You can always also use the divinity and Ren objectivist language. It's also a great idea.
Dude, I don't know. Does divinity still get hate these days?
At least from me, he does.
If there are no haters for Divinity, then MonkeyBoy has passed.
I know he used to get like a lot of attention because he was Irandian, and that view in and of itself was bullied. So
Yeah, I don't understand why he still is Iranian. I don't get it, but people make edits about divinity, or at least that's what's said. Because I saw one edit, and then he was talking in the chat that people make edits. I don't know if that's true, but
Zach, your teacup.
edits for Iranian, I don't know.
no, people 100% make edits for him. It's him. When Anne was doing that whole race thing with that Marcus guy, I saw edits of her. It's so weird seeing edits of people you talk to on this app.
I saw an edit of J Mike, and someone was like hotties of TikTok debates, and they just like edited J Mike and him playing guitar and stuff.
Baddies of debate talk.
Baddies of debate talk. There we go.
Yo, Davey, make me an edit.
And that was on my FYP, like not even like friends. That was on an FYP. It scared me.
I'm sure that account will make you an edit.
Nah, I'm a bear. If anyone thinks I'm hot,
for MonkeyBoy.
Oh, okay.
Well, if you're the bear, then the feminists of TikTok are going to be making edits of you.
Probably. I would
always
not be
choose the
surprised.
bear and then just some Giga Chat edit.
What a time on TikTok that was.
Giga Buddha, Giga Buddha edit.
Sounds like you're speaking another language. It sounds like there's a missing word there.
Maybe. I don't know. How can I know a word is missing if I don't know that there's a missing word?
Got him.
Yes, sweetie?
Sorry, my brain was trying to process what you just said to me.
You gotta upgrade your RAM.
Dude, that's fucked up because sometimes when I'm in like philosophical arguments with people, my brain will like glitch. Like I'm playing, like it's like when you play chess and you're like, you've calculated like 4 different lines and you're on like move 3 of the 4th line and you're like, I don't want to think too much. I'm just gonna castle type shit. I'll do that in like actual arguments and I have to catch myself. I was probably wildly unintuitive if you don't play chess. I just realized that.
No, well, I mean, I haven't played chess since like 2nd grade, so yeah.
It's like it's like if you're doing a bunch of probabilities in your head. And then say you get one done with one data set, and then you do another data set, and then you do another data set, and these calculations, depending on how like your foresight is, if you're like 1600, you're probably only visualizing like 4 to 5 moves ahead. So do that for 20 different positions. Actually, no, sorry. It'd be 4 different lines with 5 positions each. So that's 20 different positions, but then 20 times 5. So it'd be about 180 different chess positions. And then you get to like the 4th one and you're just too tired in your head from like that visualizing.
No, yeah. I mean, like that's one of the main reasons.
Visualizing.
No, yeah. I mean, like that's one of the main reasons why I try to do like one-on-ones anytime I try to do like my debates, just because if there's like so many people, I lose track of what's being said, and I just can't track just because of like how many voices there are.
Yeah, like this background is not like memeing. I do love like when somehow there's only one op and everybody disagrees with them, but weirdly, like everybody like is charitable with like letting that guy talk, and then somebody will take an angle, and then somebody will realize that another person has a better angle, and then it's just like, you know.
Yeah.
But like the thing that I've never got is like, as far as like ending live goes, ending like a TikTok live goes, I've never really understand how to transition